The views expressed on the previous programs are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and do not reflect those of the Beasley Broadcast Group, its staff, advertisers, or agency.
You're listening to South Florida Sports Radio.
560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
560 WQAM presents The Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, dial 5670.
Oh, are we on now? Oh, whatever. I was reading crap on the internet.
That's fine. Toll free, 877
about Jack Riggs.
Neil, or pound 560 on your
AT&T race caller.
And Verizon
maybe
wireless
dead.
phones. The opinions expressed by Neil, his guests, or his callers do not represent those of WQAM management, staff.
Jack Riggs, Hazel Park, DRC.
Rogers Show.
Let's reminisce about the ancient days before George was born. That really frost his ass.
I know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
Payroyd, by the way, wears pink lipstick. Are you aware of that?
No.
She wears lipstick, Payroyd.
That'll do it. Right there. Shoot me up for the ball game. Pump me up with the roids. So I'll have small nuts and a face that's cracked. I got tumors growing on my back, but I'll shoot some more steroids for the first spring training game. 'Cause how else could I join Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame?
All right. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time talking about Payroyd because everybody and their brother, all the sports talk shows, oh, gee. It's interesting, though, the Miami connection with all the steroids. First it was Jose Canseco wrote the book, and then we had Rafi. Oh, Rafi, you're such a credit to the community, Rafi. Then Ileana Grozana, a-hole. Rafael Palmero. And then we had, who else in Miami? And now Payroyd. Pay fraud. Miami connection. But anyway, so last night, where the hell was I watching? I guess it was on Keith Olbermann. They had a segment from 60 Minutes.
Okay.
And they showed Miss Rodriguez, and I got news for her. I'm sorry, because I've seen too many other clips of his interviews, and he had, like, lips like ordinary people, you know. I mean, granted, you contrast his complexion, which is like, I don't know how to describe it, kind of like brownish, he looks like he's got a lot of pancake makeup on, but that's just his ordinary complexion, I guess. Or maybe he does have a lot of pancake makeup.
Right.
But in this interview on 60 Minutes, he had pink lipstick. I'm telling you. I'm smelling you right now.
I'm not denying it.
Now, what kind of a guy wears pink lipstick?
Gay.
No, come on.
Right, you're supposed to wear maroon lipstick or maybe a nice, blood color if you're a guy.
Pink lipstick?
Yeah. I don't know. Don't ask me, man.
It's enough to make me want to search for that lipstick on your collar, Connie Francis thing, with Bowser. And the best thing about it, we like to use could do it. Oh, boy, yous could do it all right. So anyway, the whole thing is a fraud. All these guys are on drugs, and screw it. Thank goodness baseball became boring to me so many years ago. My attitude about baseball is almost like yours. I wouldn't watch it if you paid me by the pitch. Boring. Ponderous. Yeah. Here's the poll result from yesterday. We've changed the poll because Eric asked me to. Eric's not going to be here tomorrow. A lot of people are not going to be a lot of places the next, I don't know. It's one of those things. George ain't going to be here on Friday. We got Flea on Friday.
Right.
Oh, happy day, some of those people are saying. Some of those anti-George crowd, you know. Oh, we love that Flea. He's so entertaining, and he's so much better than that George. That little George. Just a lot of sour people out there, that's all. Nothing worse than being a sour puss. The solution to the economic crisis is increased spending in infrastructure, 226. Eat the rich, 168. Do whatever Obama says, 156. Give the money to Neil so we can double it at Woodbine, 142. An excellent choice. I made a few bucks yesterday. How do you like that?
All right.
What did I hit yesterday? Oh, I got 400 on the line twice. Wheel of torture. Don't get started on the schlots. Let me tell you right now, the schlots will kill you. Cut taxes, 92. More government involvement, 63. Less government involvement, 62. They can't make up their mind on that one. But they do know they like the president, and the Republicans are like all the time. They want to make sure he fails so the country can go in the crapper. We're going to have a big depression to make the Republican Party successful again. Pink lipstick. I'd like your take on that, you emailers. You crankers and shankers and wankers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to find out? Oh, speaking of wankers, Johnny from Oklahoma is back again. Fake Johnny. Dismissive and insulting, predictable, says Fake Johnny. I wouldn't be surprised if Johnny from Oklahoma is Johnny ZTR again.
Could
you know,
be.
with all the fake identities. Right. Well, he's got to come up with some new ones. I heard your response and your audience response to my email. Predictably, it was dismissive and insulting. Well, you deserve to be dismissed and insulted, Johnny. The truth is difficult for people to confront. Take your religious bullcrap and peddle it to a lot of ignorant people, okay? I will not get lower to that level. It's a shame you're unwilling to stand for what you believe in the face of someone who's willing to challenge those beliefs. I know you ridicule the Christian faith constantly, but rarely do you pay any attention to all the good works that are currently being done exclusively by Christians of all denominations in places where people's lives are at risk every day. Do you deny that Christians do more good works around the world than any other faith? Christianity isn't perfect, but it's in the best position to make improvements to this flawed world. Johnny from Oklahoma. Ask all the people who died during the Inquisition and the Crusades about Christianity and the good works, okay?
And now you're nitpicking.
Yeah, that's right. Ask all the victims of molestation by those priests, by those fag priests. Ask all of them if the church is in a position, the prone position.
I'm sure Johnny isn't that kind of Christian.
I don't know.
There's a lot of infighting going on.
Whatever he is. He's fake. The whole thing is fake, so what are you talking about? Are you responding like Johnny is for real? Is real?
No, of course not.
And everybody knows anyway that the Jews are God's chosen people, chosen for persecution and murder and slaughter and starvation and like that, because they're special.
Oy.
That's right. All a bunch of bubba mices, Johnny. Don't waste your time sending that crap in this direction. Go out in the street corner and hand out some leaflets. Oh, Christ is coming. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I think Johnny is the I don't remember the name of the fake church, but
there's no fact in the church.
That one from Hialeah. Remember those days?
Yep.
Johnny is either that or he's John ZTR with another new fake identity. The dead Bob Lassiter writes, thanks for a great laugh and a good cry. From Greg Budell, I don't understand what this means. From Greg Budell to Bob Lassiter. Now Greg is so desperate he's writing to dead people. Thanks for a great laugh and a good cry. Charlie Campus, Al Rantel, name some more. Name some more what?
Names.
Oh, names? Joe Smith, Tom Jones.
Right.
Ed Schwartz.
A.B. Ishkabibble.
Ishkabibble, yeah. Here's Brandon, who always sends something useful, man, I'll tell you. Oh, who's this Brandon guy? It's Brandon this and Brandon that. But you were out that day. That was such a great email. It was fabulous. Brandon says, I tried Bluebell ice cream to see what the big hype was all about, so I bought a half-gallon of Dutch chocolate. They had maybe 10 to 15 flavors, so I had myself a nice bowl of it last night. It was okay, but did it live up to the hype? Not really. It was just your regular chocolate ice cream that was a little more creamy than the others, and for sure wasn't worth the $7 I paid for it. I could get the same ice cream in the Publix brand for half price. Publix generally makes really good, high-quality, generic things at decent prices. For the ice cream connoisseurs, I'm sure they could feel or taste a difference, but not me. Connoisseurs. No, they're probably like ice cream snobs, you know. Confirm ownership parcel. Dear customer, here's a package with $80 trillion in it. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, another one of those. Life isn't complete without those. I guess I'm going to Schmidt can your link there. I don't know.
Yes, please.
That was too much grief. And also that other link to the brother thing.
Yeah.
Eric says, I'll be out during a good part of the show tomorrow if you send me tomorrow's poll. Well, there you go. Thanks, Eric. It's on there already. He is on top of it, man. He's the best. Here is the new poll, and a lot of additions coming to this one, I'm sure. That's why it's good that we put this up there now. It gives him something to add and gives you something to do.
Great.
Big O at 2, Mad Dog at Shula's at 4, Dolphin and I at 7. We're sorry for that. We apologize in DA 8 to 11.
Did I mention earlier that this computer is not working right now?
What do you mean it's not working?
Well, there's when it's working, and then there's now.
And then there's now, like it's not working? Right. Well, what happened to it?
I don't know. I think all the potchking I was doing things along with you.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that really was very productive. Right. Yeah, very productive. So I'm just going to have to accept my fate that and now let me ask you this.
Sure.
I know this sounds stupid, but I have 2 of these Brother MFC 4800s in here. One that I use for the fax in the on the other side of the room, and then the one over here by the computer. If I swap those out, do you think it would make a difference?
No, because I think it's the software that you don't have properly installed in there.
It's
I think
soft.
what you need is a genuine computer technician person, an IT person, to go in there and do everything that you need done correctly.
Well, it's not like there's some major, I mean, it's like a little thing.
Exactly, so it shouldn't take them too long. My problem, on the other hand, will.
Your problem what?
The problem with this computer might.
I don't understand why it crashed. I don't get it.
It's been coughing up blood for a while.
Has it?
Yeah.
Maybe I need to buy a new one, which I'm not going to. I can't afford it at this pay rate.
Don't worry about it.
The old days, I'd buy a new one right now. I'd go online and have it delivered tomorrow.
I want this one working. Hey, Steph.
49 votes on the new poll. The most overplayed song on the radio is or was "You Light Up My Life." Debbie Boone. Oh my God, 13. Debbie Boone. Piano Man, 12. Actually, I kind of like that song about the first 4,000 times.
Right.
And then the next 80 million times I grew to despise it like everybody else. You lied. And then whatever happened to Debbie Boone? She disappeared, thank God, along with Daddy. Daddy decided to become like a rock star. Remember that? He was doing Stones crap and all that. Yeah. He's a jerk. He's a real jackass. He used to be real pretty, though, but now he's pretty old and pretty ugly. You Light Up My Life, 13. Piano Man, 12. Oh, I got to tell you something very, I don't know if it's funny or if it's sad. You'll think it's sad.
Okay.
So I went to Woodbine yesterday, won a few bucks. I did fine. I come home, and Paco stopped by to look at some papers I had or something. I don't remember what it is. And he looks at me like, oh, my God, are you a crazy person or what? I shaved my head again, that electric shaver I got a couple days ago. And I've never done this before. I mean, I've left some, like at the neck, I've left some hairs, that looked a little silly.
Spots.
But I missed a big spot on the back. I mean, a big spot. It looked like a ponytail was starting. I mean, just grotesque.
Huh. Maybe that'll be a good new look for you.
He took a picture with his phone. He took a picture of it and showed it to me, and I thought, oh, no. How could I go out of the house like that? That's what he said. You look like homeless again. Homeless. So I immediately shaved it off, and now it's nice and neat. And
very good.
Anyway, You Light Up My Life, 16. Piano Man, 12. I Got You, Babe, 9. Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree. I Hate Tony Orlando with Dawn Like Poison, 8. The Rose, 4. Muskrat Love, 2. I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing, 2. We talked about that at length yesterday. It's only got 2 votes. You Don't Bring Me Flowers Anymore, none. I don't even know why that's on there. You Don't Bring Me Flowers Anymore was the most overplayed song of all time. My God. Pink Lipstick is whorish and hot, says Barry McCockner. How do you like that? What's that got to do with pay fraud?
Maybe he thinks it's hot on him.
Good morning, Neil. Would like to thank you for picking the correct pony. The extra $150 came in very handy as my car blew a fuel injector. $400. Thanks again. Long-time listener since the Zeta days. Hell of a, what does it say? Oh, hetero, big boy, Kevin in Miami. Thanks, Kevin. Kevin says thanks. I picked him the wiener. So I got $150, almost half what he needed for the new fuel injector. Isn't that a bitch? You could never get ahead. Here I thought we were getting him $150 ahead, and instead cost him $400 to fix his car.
Oh, well.
Sorry to hear that, Kevin, but I did my best to do my duty. We won by a Hade. Second time in 3 weeks our horse won by a Hade. I wish they'd win by 5-6 lengths so we can breathe a little bit easier.
Oh, well.
But I guess it's more exciting this way,
sure.
When you win by a Hade. Especially if Jack Riggs is calling the race. Of course, he wouldn't have been calling a thoroughbred race. Oh, yeah, he would, because he used to do DRC and Hazel Park. He used to call the thoroughbreds in the afternoon and then drive to the other track and do the harness racing at night. That was one hell of a guy. He was a little boring, but that's beside the point. He had a great voice. They're off. And then one time he called the wrong race.
Okay.
He was a race ahead in the program. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He called the wrong race. And then when we got to the next race, the race started just exactly the way he had called it before, as though it was scripted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It made you really wonder what it's all about. Like he was reading a script.
Rogers got.
Jose can say go, said everyone's used, but we swear there's no one on our team who is cheating. All our players are clean. There's no steroid abuse. Sure we know they're all huge. It's just vitamins they're eating. When they hit a home run, they take drugs, 'cause we tested their urine. Jose never saw our players shoot roids in their arms. They just work out and eat right. That's why they are so calm.
Okay, I got 2 votes for Stairway to Heaven. Let's get that on the poll right away.
Yeah, sure.
That would be another another one of my polls, most overrated song of all time. And then remember we did the thing, your favorite song of all time, and it wins that too.
Yes.
There's a lady outside, she's whatever. Sucks. Here's one. Justin says, is it too late to mention Stairway to Heaven for the poll? You're both fantastic. And Please sounds great as well. Thanks for the great shows, Justin. Thank you, Justin. Stairway to Heaven. We got 2 votes for that.
I'll put it on there psychically.
You'll do what?
I'm mentally putting it on there right now. Everyone can just pretend that it's there and pretend to vote for it.
Payrod. Henry Finkelstein says, that's definitely lipstick on the Katie Couric interview. What a fag A-Rod is. Maybe that's why Madonna likes him so much.
Maybe.
First Denise Rodman, and then who was the other fag that she was married to for a short time?
I don't know.
The dancer?
Oh, the dancer. I don't know.
She's a fag hag, Madonna, in case you didn't know that.
I did.
She's a fag and a fag hag.
Saw it right off.
At any rate, you sawed it off?
Yeah.
Henry says, also I have a brother 4800. You'll probably have to get somebody to get that done for you. Well, Neil, I can't believe you missed a piece of hair. Don't you have a handheld mirror? No, I don't. I have mirrors behind the mirrors. In other words, my bathroom walls are like all mirrored, so I can look in the mirror behind me, and usually I don't miss a spot. But I missed not just spot, but I mean like a big, it looked like, remember Mark Lindsay from Paul Revere and the Raiders? Mm-hmm. Like that. By the way, I saw your pictures from Gulfstream. I don't think that's the haircut for you. It makes you look older. Well, I like it. It's comfortable, and I like it. I'm not interested in any pointers on how to dress, how to do my hair. Mind your own business, Henry, okay? Makes you look older. Go Panthers. Love you, Neil, but I root against your Leafs tonight. Professor Dr. Henry K. Finkelstein, Schwartzman, whatever. Cox ahoy, Hank. I'm amazed that we aren't getting a lot more different names of songs on there. So many songs just played on and on and on until you just want to vomit. But eventually there'll be like 1 or 2, you know. Mm-hmm. Or maybe not. Got a dead guy, somebody you never heard of.
Okay.
Philip Carey.
Never heard of him.
I wonder if he's kin to Harry, or maybe Andy Carey, who played third base for the Yankees in the 50s. Andy Carey. Philip Carey dies at 83, co-starred in Laredo, and had a long-running role on One Life to Live. And a series of commercials in the 60s. Philip Carey, the ruggedly handsome veteran actor who co-starred in the 60s TV Western Laredo, and more recently played the long-running role of a bigger-than-life Texas tycoon on the ABC soap opera One Life to Live, has died. He was 83. Carey, who was also known in Southern California in the 60s for his tongue-in-cheek series of commercials for Granny Goose potato chips, died Friday at his home in New York City after a battle with lung cancer, said Laurie Hogan, publicity director for One Life to Live. Another shot at love. It's another shot at love. Seriously, the crap that they put on MTV and on A&E, it's just, you wonder if there's any hope. I mean, forget about everybody going bankrupt and losing their job. I mean, forget about that if you can. Just think about another shot at love. And then you'll know the answer is no chance. We're done. We're doomed. The tall, deep-voiced actor began playing Asa Buchanan, Asa, the strong-willed Buchanan family patriarch who could be ruthless in business and would do whatever he had to do to protect his family. In 1980, he was diagnosed with lung cancer in early 2006, took a leave of absence from One Life to Live to undergo treatment, returned to the show later that year. His tycoon character died in his sleep in an August 2007 episode, but was brought back twice in video wills and appeared on the show's 40th anniversary episodes in July 2008. His last appearance was on December 29. One Life to Live cast member Erika Slazak said she was incredibly fond of Carey. Well, isn't that great? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I could love him more if he was my dad, she said. Another shot at love. Oh, God. I think we're raising, or you're raising a generation of emotional cripples is what it is.
Yeah. No question.
Dancing with the Stars. Everything is TMZ, man. Everything is Entertainment Tonight, and what are the other 800 shows of the same genre?
Yeah, Access Hollywood.
Access Hollywood, yeah. People who have no lives of their own and now have to live vicariously through other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's like these people obsessed with
Neil God.
me. Don says, Neil God, there are only two types of shows on this Fort Myers radio market, sports and right wing. You're like a friend. Now, I want to tell you how he spells friend. I mean, This is a very positive, friendly email, but so I don't want to pick on Don. And he is over there in Fort Myers. He spells friend F-R-I-N-E-D, a friend that comes to visit each day.
My friend.
You're my friend. No, give me...
Did you hear that pop?
What was that?
That was me zapping myself with the microphone here.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how's your computer doing?
Not. I'm doing everything I can think of. I'm doing system restores.
No gimmicks or stunts, just a friend that sits in for a while and chats. He spells it the same way both times. I have to listen to you with Spanish music in the background and static, etc. After the first time I hear about A-Rod's injections, I don't need to hear about it the next 7 hosts. Thank you for what you do, and George is the best. I relate to all he chats about. Thanks, Neil. Thank Neil for Neil. Neil bless Mac in Fort Misery. Those people over there on the West Coast, they don't seem to be too happy. A lot of unhappy people in Florida. Oh, Henry Finkelstein, that's right. Before he sent that last one, he had another one. Long, ponderous, but I'll read it. I guess. Professor Dr. Henry K. Finkelstein, my ass. Subject, what's up, Ginger? George, how are you, man? And I'll do the break, and then it's too long to start now. And it's so important I don't want to, interrupt it.
Good.
Most overplayed song of all time. And we aren't getting thousands of suggestions for you to add onto the poll. I mean, that's criminal is what that is. Let me take a look. Maybe now they're coming. Oh, yeah, there we go. Not thousands, but 2, 4, 5. That's a start. Neil at neilrogers.com. You can do it. I'm telling you. Or maybe you can't do it. Maybe that's the problem, when you come right down to it. Maybe they can't do it. Do you ever think about that? Kind of like the sales department.
Right.
Like when it comes to copy, they can't do it. I don't want to mention Gary Sarner in connection with that because he would turn even more Jewish than he already is. You think that's possible?
No.
Well, maybe he'll come in there and kosher the studio for you.
Maybe.
Maybe he'll say a bracha. Or maybe he'll just come in and brech all over you.
Hi, this is Larry King, and they don't come any better than Neil Rogers.
Absolutely.
When the season's here, break out the fast. I got my results today. I filled up the cup, and they haven't caught me yet. I want some home runs and RBIs, so I can make a lot more cash. And I need every advantage I can get. So shoot me up, coach. I'm pumped up to play today. Shoot me up, coach. They'll never find out. No way. 'Cause the juice makes me Major League. So shoot me up.
1031 at 560. All the roids all the time, baby. They're all doing it. They're all shooting up.
All right.
And, of course, baseball is a game where those statistics are so meticulously kept and so important. Remember that email yesterday, the cockamoon?
Yeah.
Who cares, okay? 50,000 years from now, is anybody going to give a crap about payroid and pay fraud and all that other crap? I don't think so. And Jose Canseco? Pink lipstick. You watch that Couric interview from 60 Minutes and you tell me that child ain't wearing pink lipstick? What kind of a macho guy? Here he's supposed to be a role model for all the little kids out there. He's making more money than God, $80 trillion a season. Well, I was just confused and stupid and, yeah. What's the excuse for the pink lipstick, honey?
Confused and stupid?
No, that must be it. I was just confused and stupid. Where have we heard that before?
I don't know.
We hear that all the time. Lawrence says, no more weak attempts at humor for me anymore. Thank God. For an intellectual guy like this guy who actually has got, an IQ and can spell and, For the poll, Boston's More Than a Feeling. See, I told you this guy's good. I agree with that. More Than a Feeling. That one of the. He says it doesn't help. I hate that song, and so do I. I hate it. I despise it. If I ever hear it again, I'm going to kill somebody. More Than a Feeling. It sounds like a song that Joe Rose would sing. Now, not a knock at Joe, because Joe's great, you know, but something he would sing right after he would do one of those awful singing spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got my computer working after a fashion.
Well,
so
that's
I can
good.
add things to the poll now, but...
Oh, in other words, you couldn't add this stuff to the poll. I'm telling you, add this and add that.
Right.
Oh, that's bad. Now,
I'm answering you, and you think I'm being all sarcastic and kidding, but I wasn't.
Stairway to Heaven, More Than a Feeling.
Right.
You got these now?
Yes.
Is it working?
Yes.
Thank God.
For the time being, barely.
It says, I don't know if you saw the press conference last night. No, I did not, but the talking heads afterward were something else. On MSNBC, Olbermann, Maddow, Matthews, go ahead. We're actually comparing him to W and saying that Obama's going to have to shorten his answers. His answers were too often 7 minutes long or more. W's answers were short and to the point. The fact he couldn't speak or make sense most of the time or was lying apparently is beside the point. I was to coin a phrase, dumbfounded. Is that where we are now, that Americans can't or won't sit through the President of the U.S. talking about something vitally important and taking time to think before speaking?
No.
That's correct. We can't. It was also nice to see the President call on Helen Thomas, especially after her shabby treatment by the Bushies. Yeah, somebody call on that old bag before she croaks already. My God. She's got to be at least 200 years old. She's got bags on her bags. You know what I mean by that? Like Maria. Like little Maria B. from the Gambling Channel. Here's one that says, please post the picture that Paco took on the website. Sounds funny. Thanks, my friend. Well, I'm sorry, my friend, but he erased it right away. Promised me he would erase it. And he did. I mean, I don't want to put a picture out there. I mean, it's embarrassing. I'm just mortified and mortified to think I was walking around in public with that big chunk of hair. And I mean, it looked idiotic. It looked like a mistake. And you know what it was?
A mistake?
Yes. Bad mistake. Big chunk of, just in the middle of an otherwise fairly, well, you saw how short I keep my hair.
Yeah.
It's not like skinhead, but it's like close to it.
It's in for what it's worth.
That's right. All guys do their hair like this now, unless
and
they're like some kind of
when your hair starts thinning, it's the better part of valor.
Well, I could have been doing that for 20 years
As opposed to doing the comb-over thing like a lot of other guys do.
Oh, comb-over. You mean like Karl Rove and Bob Cole?
Like that, yeah.
Combing over 6 hairs? Jason says, Ramblin' Man by the Allman Brothers. If I hear it again, I swear I would joist in my pants. Great show. I like that song a lot, though, but he's got a good point. It was played, especially if you watch The Exorcist over and over and over again. I think I'm losing my faith, Father. Oh, I bet you, what's his name? Oklahoma Johnny wouldn't like that, or whatever his name was, Johnny Okie. Here's another one from the dead Bob Lassiter. That was from the real Greg Budell. He's doing a show, FM show, on 96.1 WQKS FM, and his afternoon talk show on the AM station. Joe Bell has interviewed him for the new Q56 Oldies format. Greg would host the morning drive show for WQAM. This from the dead Bob Lassiter. Oh. You know, it could be from the real Greg Budell. Just desperately seeking attention. Just like that obnoxious Sid across the street. You're not going to get it from me, Sid. I'm not giving you no attention. You're not even small potatoes. You're like tater tots. Nothing. Made the impact of a fart. George Ann says, good morning. You had what Cubans call a cucaracha. A spot that's missed when you get a bad haircut. By the way, there's somebody interested in buying cereal. Oh, this is Rob in South Miami again, who for some reason always has the website. It's like the email address, George Ann. Somebody interested in buying Sirius is Dead, yada, 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 from Echo Star. Yeah, we talked about that at length yesterday, Rob. Listen every day, every minute. Rob in South Miami. Or George Ann. Maybe Rob wears pink lipstick. I don't know. Maybe he dresses up as George Ann. Just a joke, Rob. Relax. What do you think about that pink lipstick, huh?
What about it?
Now, you wouldn't have seen it because you wouldn't watch even for 1 second anything to do with sports, you know.
Right.
Even though you know who that is.
Yeah. And?
What's with the Miami connection with drugs, huh?
Huh? Coincidence? I'm sure
Just a coincidence, man. And like Mark McGuire says, even though his brother, ratted him out, said, oh, yeah, he was doing roids. I injected him. But Mark says, let's not talk about the past. Let's look for the future, I'm sure that's what W is thinking, too. Let's forget about the past and all those dead people. Joe Doggiola says, can honestly say I never heard Muskrat Love, The Rose, or You Don't Bring Me Flowers anymore one time in my life. Well, good. Maybe my life hasn't sucked so much after all. No luck with the others on the poll, alas. However, and I mean, if I ever hear Light My Fire again, it'll be too soon. I love that song. I love the Doors, but Light My Fire. And I love Jose Feliciano, too, who also sang it. Remember that?
Yep.
Whatever happened to him? Is he still alive?
I don't know.
Dow is down 110. I'm convinced it's mandatory for this song to be played Light My Fire at least once an hour in every rock station in the Western world. People who actually call up stations to request Light My Fire need to be removed from the Earth's population, is what Joe says. Joe D'Agiola. This isn't a name every song you know suggestion. That song, while good, is truly overplayed beyond the point of nausea. And I say this as a Doors fan. Enough already. To paraphrase Guitar Man, I'd rather stick hot burning needles in my flesh than listen to that 7-minute song ever again, unless Jim Morrison actually comes back from the dead to perform it. Wow. Jim Morrison, who extended his manly member to the crowd in Miami.
That's the
all
rumor.
those years ago. What? That was the Gland of Friendship.
Right.
John says, for the poll, how about My Heart Will Go On by the unctuous Celine Dion? Oh, what a good choice.
Yep.
She gives me spilkies, man. In fact, if you tell anybody up here you like Celine Dion, they immediately shoot your ass.
Good.
Being the Canadian bitch that she is. Oh, you know, a lot of good Canadian performers, a lot of good comedians. Not too many great Canadian singers. Unless you include Man Murray or like that, you know.
Rush.
Or Gordon Lightweight.
Rush.
Name me a great Canadian. I mean, Rush. For group.
Yeah. The Guess Who.
The Guess Who, right? My close personal friend Burton Cummings.
Yes.
Oh, there he goes again. Another spin. There he goes again. Oh, God. If I would have had a gun, I'd have shot him and the bitch that night. And their machines, that was back when we still had the coins. The coins were bursting out. Their machines were hemorrhaging money. Not that they can fix those things or anything like that, you know.
Right.
I'm sitting there plunging my guts out, and I get a spin $25, you know, which is close to the minimum, the lowest you can get. Oh, there he goes again, another spin. Oh, boy, you know. Just look at your own machine and leave me alone, Bert. God, what an a-hole he was. But, you know, that's the way it is. I love his music. See, that's the thing about performers. When you people get all whipped up about performers, if you like their work, that's fine. Don't expect them to be great people or to, like, you know, come to your house and cook you dinner. Just be happy that you like their work. And then the rest of it, maybe they're, you know, maybe they're idiots. Look at us.
Mm-hmm.
If you can stomach that hair on the back of my head. God, couldn't believe that. And he was just aghast. You went outside like that? Like he was embarrassed to know me, which I wouldn't blame him.
No, God.
Have you ever turned on the radio and said, that song makes me sick? Well, now, KO Pectate Records presents songs that make you want to throw up.
Doctor, gonna upchuck on you. I got a bad case of feeling goo. Stay away, I might throw up on you. I got
Yes, on songs that make you want to throw up, you get Sting.
If I ever lose my lunch on you.
A complete farfarama. And who could forget the classic?
Puke, 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 puke and hurl. Puke, puke, puke and hurl. Puke, puke, puke and hurl. Puke, puke. You know you make me wanna lose my groceries, blow my chow now, cut my cookies, tuck my noodles, keep on you, man.
Get pukin' to the pukin'. Songs that make you want to throw up.
10:46, 14 before 11 at 560 WQAM. Happy Tuesday from all your close personal friends at QAM, if you have any.
That's right. We're all their close personal friends, aren't we?
Are they?
Aren't we?
Even the big... Oh! The most overplayed song on the radio is or was. We have 127 votes. You Light Up My Life, 28. Debbie Boone. I wonder if she ever saw her daddy's Boone in the Box.
I'm sure she did.
No. She probably saw it live.
Eek.
Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree, 23. Oh, boy. Tony Orlando and Dawn. Born again Tony Orlando. A real... You ever see him and Geraldo together? Same person.
Good point.
Piano Man, 20, by the unctuous, obnoxious Billy Joel. You don't like anybody, Neil. Stairway to Heaven, 17. I Got You, Babe, 14. It's not I've, it's I Got You. But that's okay. You don't have to change it, Eric.
Okay.
Eric's busy. He's getting ready to do something tomorrow. Do somebody. I'd like to teach the world to sing, 11. I'd like to teach the world to sing. Oh. You would have had to have lived during that era. I don't know what year that was, but
I did. It was the 70s. I remembered. It was everywhere.
It was, and in the Coke spots on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
They ran those like every 5 seconds there was another spot. The Rose 4, Muskrat Love 4, Ramblin' Man 2. I love that song. Makes me think of that scene in The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
More Than a Feeling 2, Boston. Listen, if you want to play that stuff,
go ahead.
One of the great motion pictures of all time. Unmasking the bullcrap of the church. But then again, we've had a lot of priests. There were a lot of those.
I know what you mean. They were the heroes of the movie.
They were?
I know they had a problem with it, but the Catholic Church, they were the ones that saved the day.
Well, the Catholic Church wasn't too crazy about that movie, and they also were not too crazy about The Godfather.
Yeah. They don't like anything that doesn't come from them.
They don't like anything that exposes the truth about what a bunch of frauds and phonies they are. You don't bring me flowers anymore, too. My heart will go on and light my fire. Between the two of them, they've got nothing. Zero. They've got a point. A lot of that going around these days. I remember when people used to listen to the radio, when radio was a useful thing. People used to, like, fondle their radio and love it and cuddle up to it and get into bed and put it next to their head.
Sure.
And not anymore.
Nope.
Radio, what's that? AM especially. AM. And FM's done, too. And Sirius XM is going to be done in a few months. They're going to be finito. Finito, man. Oh, you don't understand. It's the way. And I noticed Miss Budell has stopped writing about the Sirius business. Now that they're down to 11 cents. Let me check the price right now. It was up to 13, and then this morning it was down to 11. Let's see if it's a good buying opportunity. Sirius stock. Haven't heard from Maria B. yet this morning. Especially now that the market is tanking again. Let's see, 11 cents. It's hanging right in there, baby. A good, solid 11 cents. If you got a dime and a penny, you can buy a share of Sirius XM stock. And you can shove it deep between your cheeks. That's what it's worth. You can wipe your ass with it. David says, I'm probably going to be missing the boat with the most listeners, but I got to go with Hey Ya by Outkast. What? I remember back about 5 years ago, wherever you were in the U.S., you were 5 minutes away from that GD song. Back me up on this one, George, says David.
I don't think it's 5 years old, and yeah, it's very...
Hey Ya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Common, but...
What about Poker Face by, what's her name?
By Mama something?
No, that's not it. Baba Ganoush. Baba Booey. What is her name again?
Make me find it?
I love that song. You can't play that song too much. That video, they can't show it too much. Especially that hot guy there at the end. Looks like she's going to do something really erotic with him, too. And then, of course, they cut away, and we don't want to see that. Oh, here we go again from the fake Greg Budell, or maybe the real one, with no life. What are you trying to tell us, Greg?
I have no life.
Well, we know that. Everybody still hates you, by the way, Greg. Frank and Larry Mervis say hi. Tom Dick has already contacted me about the WQAM rumors. Right. Greg. Well, that's because little Tommy's out of touch.
Lady Gaga.
First he goes on in the morning and rips me an ass there with his buddy Sid across the street. Rips me an ass. And then last week he screwed the whole thing up on Dave Halberstam's book about the sportscasters, about network sportscasters, and I got suckered into it too because I went along with little Tommy. Poker Face by, give me a clue.
Lady
Gaga. See, I know my crap.
I wanna hold them like they do in Texas, please.
That could be the greatest song of all time. Now, I could be influenced by the video, I'll confess, but it's pretty good. And see, that goes to show you, that's like a current song. That's a current hit. I'm not totally out of touch. That's the only one I could name for you.
That's
and
fine.
Boy, I'll tell you, when we get in that car, I don't want to say somebody cranks up that radio. Oh, my God. Loud music, loud. The speakers are just jumping in the car. Jumping. Oh. Hey, guys, how about Money? If I hear that one more time, I'll go postal.
That's a good point.
Money?
I like it, by Pink Floyd. I like it, but it's very overplayed.
What about Money by Barrett Strong? And what about Money by the Beatles, who stole it? Stole it. It's not the same song.
No, but...
And yes, the email is true. A cucaracha is interesting no matter what sleaze Miami's always involved. Oh, it said, I see, 2 separate points. A cucaracha is the hair on the back of the head, a lump. And no matter what sleaze is going on, mommy's always in the middle of it. That's right. All the drugs, all the steroids, baby. Rafael Palmeiro, Jose Canseco, and now Payroid. Pay fraud with his pink lipstick. I don't just mean like you would have to imagine it. I mean, it's so obvious. It would be like if he had another nose growing on the side of his face. You know what I mean? It's not your imagination. It is what it is.
I ain't arguing with you.
Like Bubba would say, it all depends on what is. Oh, boy, well, they sure screwed him over good. And he's got the last laugh now. His wife is Secretary of State. He's going around the world speaking and making zillions of dollars. Oh, here Kathy says, I don't know about his pink lips. Maybe it's something he caught from that slag Madonna. That could be it. It might be an STD. Maybe Merlin Olsen sent him an STD bouquet. But his confession of agreeing to take steroids because of all the pressure to perform because of the millions of dollars he was being paid tells me one thing. The answer to this is stop paying these jocks so much. Well, that would be the answer, except for the damn Yankees. Except for the Steinbrenners. Don't get me wrong, I think athletes deserve to make good money, especially since they have such a short-lived career due to the stress and damage to their bodies. I wonder about Luke Shen. I wonder how much he's pulling down, so to speak. Boy, that kid is some kind of stud. You can see him play at the Mac Arena tonight, the Leafs and the Panthers. The Leafs suck, by the way. They did win in Montreal 5-2 Saturday night. Any interest at all?
No.
Oh. The kind of money Rodriguez is making is way too much for something that produces nothing useful to mankind than entertainment. As for overplayed songs, this is probably just me and my generation, but in my opinion it would be, oh, no, do you feel like we do? From Frampton Comes Alive? It's do you feel like I do, not we do. Isn't it?
Do you feel like I do?
Right. I love that song. I love Peter Frampton,
but
that's true. I like the soda box in there. Wow, wow, wow. Don't you love that?
Yep.
When I was in high school, you couldn't listen to the radio without being subjected to that. Now, if I hear that coming on, I dive across the room to change the station. Kathy dives across the room. You can just envision it, can't you?
Yep.
If you don't like that suggestion, my runner-up is In the Air Tonight. Again, living here during the Miami Vice period, that song makes me puke. In the Air Tonight, I don't even know what that song is. Oh. I get spilkies from Phil Collins. Not that they didn't make some good music. That isn't one of them, though. Surprised that you don't have Don't Worry, Be Happy already. Oh, Kathy got in 3 here. See, we asked for 1, and she very cleverly sneaked in 3. Don't worry, be happy. Remember that?
I'm doing 2.
Channel 4, which is now Channel 6, but back in those days it was NBC4. They did an ad campaign based around that song. Don't worry. Remember?
Yep.
Be happy.
Yep.
That's before they fired Bob Weaver and they screwed him over and he died. You people at Channel 4, now NBC6, you ought to croak what you did to Bob Weaver. You bastards. Just like what this company did to Ken Malden. You'll see. He'll be dead soon. He'll die someday, and then they'll say, oh, gee, too bad that Joe Bell screwed over Ken Malden. What a great guy he was, huh?
Yep.
You'll see. Me, married to a biatch?
Yeah.
He says Bryan Adams is a good Canadian singer. Oh, wow. Bryan Adams is a good any singer? Bryan Adams blows.
Yeah, thank you.
Bryan Adams sucks. Between him and Celine Dion, I don't know which is the greater national disgrace here. Or Stephen Harper. Which is the greatest Canadian national disgrace? Oh, my God. Bryan Adams. Your taste is in your tuchus, my Goyish friend. The Vermonster says the most overplayed song, Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
I guess I never heard. I mean, it's okay.
You know it. It's a good song. Yeah, they
it
played
is
it
a good
lot,
song. It's fine.
It ain't a contender, but I'll put it on there anyway.
Put it on there anyway. Listen, let's have a list of 50, because that's the poll, isn't it? Name a song.
Neil. This is the Neil Rogers Show.
You fairy.
This is your brain.
Rock solid.
Any questions?
Crawford, Texas is a place to be, and brush clearing is the life for me. Under the Secret Service watchful eye, keep DC, just give me that Starfield sky.
No, Dallas is where I'd rather be. Redecorated, serving tea. A posh new neighborhood would be my pick. Georgia, I love you, but I'm not living in the sticks.
The chores,
The stores.
Fresh air.
It's not fair.
You are my wife.
I hate ranch life, Dallas,
Texas, we are there.
All right, 11:02 at 560 WQAM. See, we're done with that hour, right? Schmidt can that page. Greg Budell is back again. I'm sure it's the real Greg. Not.
Okay.
What do you think about the Q56 oldies format? Would love to use the old WQAM jingles. Word is your show would remain along with the sports on the weekend. Have you heard anything about Afternoon Drive? Jicka mentioned Johnny Dark, says Greg, the fake Greg. Hey, listen, if the fake Greg is emailing Johnny Dark or Tom Jicka, I'll probably get, some reply about that from little Tommy. Although I doubt it after he was on the air ripping me an ass the other day behind my back. Although, I don't know, maybe somebody just made that up, too. Just like they made up the thing about Ron and Paul using, go ahead. That turned out to be a lie.
Go ahead.
Yeah, a lie. They didn't play it. Just like I'm sure Tom Jicka wasn't on there with Sid ripping me an ass on the air and talking about how he's old and stale and rotten and a miserable old Jew bastard. I don't think little Tommy really said that, although he might have. You never know. He tends to be kind of a front runner. And, of course, Sid being from New York, it's that New York thing. All those New Yorkers stick together. If it's from New York, it had to be great, unless it was Mel Allen. And he was from Alabama anyway. And he was
gay.
Well,
I see.
I have both the worst and most overplayed song ever, says Douche Nozzle Chris. Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus.
Amen. Let me get that on there fast.
I got the winner, though, on here. Somewhere. I'll get to it. I forgot what it was, but I'll get to it. It's the winner. Where is it? Flea nominates Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the real Flea. It doesn't look like it. Lee Dot Feldman? I don't know.
Yes.
It is? That's the real Lee? Oh,
yes.
Here it is. Here's the winner. Macarena. No?
Yes. Sorry, I'm over here typing.
Paul says, quite possibly the worst, most popular song in history, Macarena. And he's got it spelled Masserina. Oh, woo! He spells it right the second time, but the first time he spells it Macerina. Come on down to the Macerina and enjoy the game. I know the song isn't played much at all anymore, but when it was popular in the mid-'90s, you couldn't get away from it. Every time I heard that song, I felt as if I were being sodomized. Hey, Macarena. Yeah, especially in South Florida. Oh, my God. And I'm sure we've got, whole... Yeah.
It's new from D's Discount Productions. Yes, potential car thieves, be on notice. You will now be thrown back from any car you try to steal with the piercing sound of the all-new Macarena alarm. Yes, the Macarena alarm. Get yours today.
Here's what, boy, I got 8 million. Well, if we stayed until midnight, I couldn't read all the emails we got already just by now. And by the way, the fake Greg Budell, go find something else to do. Go play Russian roulette or something. Go sit around with Tom Jicka and play Russian roulette with all loaded barrels. Or just rule out the barrel. Dear Neil, if you're considering any additions to the poll, please put Sweet Alabama on. If you're considering any additions, what do you think we're doing here, man? We're poll building.
Poll building's boring.
Well, too bad. That song was played into the ground. I still get queasy when I hear it today, says Gary in Homestead. Sweet Home. I like that song a lot, though, but he's got a good point. And here comes one of my favorites. One of my all-time favorite emails. You want to hear it?
Please.
Frank says, I think you are asking the wrong question.
It doesn't matter.
The question should be, which artist is overplayed? As for which song, the question should be, no, that's not the question, what you make it up to be, Frank. I hate to break the news to you. Whoever sent that poll in, their poll question, what was the most overplayed song of all time? Not which artist is most overplayed. The question should be this, and the question, these people need to be horsewhipped. As for which song, anything by Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Chili Peppers, and Led Zeppelin. Anything by any of them. Great email, Frank. One of the all-time worst. Put that in my pile.
I got a fax earlier from somebody. Anything by, and I just threw it right away.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything by so-and-so.
Yeah.
Let me read the question again. Is it exactly as it's
it doesn't
presented?
Matter. Read it 100 times. It's not
The
going to matter.
most overplayed song on the radio is or was blank. Not groups you don't like, not songs you hate like Poison. And let me tell you, Oishmoy Jew, who ordinarily sends, he sent pages of crap. The 50,000 most overplayed songs of all time. Freebird, Rhiannon, Stairway to Heaven, I Will Always Love You, Losing My Religion, Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, Love Shack, Oh, Won't Back Down, Jump, Walk This Way, Born to Be Wild, White Rabbit, Frankenstein, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. It's from like an online chat site here. People sharing their, Oishmoy Jew is right.
Oi!
Go eat some stale halava and get away from me. How many pages of this crap? 5 pages of this swill. You ready for that? I'm sure not. 5 pages of this crap from Oishmoy Jew. And then it's got a bunch of silly things. I couldn't feel any better or I'd be sick, Dean Martin.
Huh?
Mickey. It's just incoherent crap. You'd have to see it, and you don't want to, believe me.
Okay.
You don't want to.
I don't want to.
I don't want to. I just threw it on the floor.
Go ahead.
House of the Rising Sun, says Boz, Florida. This was the biggest in the 60s. Well, that's because that's when it came out. That's generally when songs get overplayed, is when they are released. Somebody decides that they like it or they're popular. They want to hype it. Maybe somebody's getting it smeared a little under the table to hype it.
Really? You're not
Let's
talking
bring
about
back Paola, baby. Let's bring back Peter Tripp, the curly-headed kid in the third row on WMGM in New York. Those are the days. Paola. Oh, Mama B's got a thing about Minor files lawsuit against Brunetti. Good. Good. Not a minor, but a guy named Halsey Minor. Filed a lawsuit against Hialeah Park John Brunetti in the city of Hialeah in hopes of purchasing and reopening the historic South Florida track. Last year, Minor was negotiating with Brunetti to buy Hialeah, which has fallen into disrepair since it last held live racing in 2001. Those negotiations eventually broke down, and Minor has turned to the courts in a bid to purchase and renovate the 206-acre property that's listed on the National Register of Historic Places and is an official sanctuary for the American flamingos that help make the track famous. Did you ever see the flamingos at Hialeah?
No.
Well, why not?
On TV.
The goal of the lawsuit is to determine the rightful owner of Hialeah, according to a press release from Minor's not-for-profit organization, Save Hialeah Racing, Inc. Brunetti's owned Hialeah since 1977. Minor's lawsuit suggests Brunetti only operates Hialeah as a lessee, and Brunetti may be in default. The time has come to restore Hialeah Park by preserving its historic buildings and reinstituting thoroughbred racing on its track for the benefit of the citizens of Hialeah and the rest of Florida, as well as the millions of annual visitors, Minor stated in the press release. Minor, 44, is a technology entrepreneur and founder of CNET, the online technology publication and web portal that he sold to CBS for $1.8 billion. Minor owns historic Carter's Grove Plantation in Williamsburg, Virginia, where his thoroughbred operation is based. How do you like that? John Brunetti's getting sued. I love it. Makes my day. The worst song by far, or the worst song, here we go. Not the most overplayed song. The worst song by far is Who Let the Dogs Out? Blech, it said. Another idiotic email. The poll doesn't ask what's the worst song ever. You jackass, you simpleton. Adam SF. Get a life, Adam. Get some help. Go get yourself some professional help. Alex says, Seasons in the Sun. Enough said. Yeah, there is a couple said that. You want to put it on there? Terry Jacks.
Sure.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. See, that's maybe not the most overplayed, the most annoying song. That would be good for that poll.
Yeah.
What's the most annoying song you ever heard, and if you ever hear it again, you'll kill somebody? Terry Jacks, Seasons in the Sun. Oh, God. Speaking of seasons, it's going to be like 50 degrees here today and 52 mañana. Then it's going to get freezing again. But how do you like that for a little taste of spring?
All right.
Raining, going to wash away all that snow, that ice, that mung. Spring is on. See, I don't know about you, but the change of seasons is, it's a wonderful thing when winter ends. You know what I mean by that?
I do.
These people say, I missed the change of season. Baloney. You don't miss the change of season when it changes from fall to winter.
Right.
Which this year, it didn't change from fall to winter. It changed from summer to winter. Fall back, spring ahead. Spring back. How does that go?
Spring ahead.
Spring ahead, fall back. fall on your fat ass, Jolly Joe. He already did. He already fell on his big ass. Every time the numbers come out, he falls on his fat ass. Oh, ho, ho, ho. What do you think we can do now that we destroyed your show, Neil? Ho, ho, ho. I keep thinking about that phone meeting we had, that conference call.
Yeah.
I mean, was he really serious, or was that just like a slap in the face? Now that we've allowed Joyce to screw everything with your show and just nail it to the wall, what do you think we ought to do now?
I don't know.
I got a suggestion for Jolly Joe. You know what it is?
What?
Retire! That certainly would be a step in the right direction. Retire! Maybe you can elope with Greg Budell.
Oh, my God. Obama man, he's the one who said yes we can. Bringing hope, bringing change. Big old ears, kind of strange. He's here, he is Obama man. Is he cool? Listen, dude, when he speaks, he's really smooth. They say he'll save the day as he shoots the outside J. Hey, look, there goes Obama man. The economy is a mess, and folks feel real depressed. Yes, the world is a wreck, but we love his hot pecs. Obama man, charismatic Obama man. He's the new president. I hope we don't regret, because everything is all messed up. We hope he doesn't screw up. He is Obama man.
11:18 at 560 WQAM. Tim in Miami says, please forgive me if this has already been nominated. Don't worry, be happy. Yes, it has. Don't worry, be happy. Oh, boy. Who did that?
Bobby McFerrin.
Wow, what a memory for crap. I may end up voting for another, but it seemed to play constantly back in the day. That's correct. Best of luck with the printer fax. I don't know why they make it so difficult, but they used to sell printers separately from the printer cable. Go figure. What does that mean?
I don't know.
They used to sell printers separately from the printer cable?
I don't know.
Another Miami connection to steroids, Tim says. Pudge Rodriguez. How much weight did he lose between seasons when he left the Marlins and signed with Detroit? About 100 pounds. Pink lipstick. Remember the various shades of makeup they tried with Dwight Lauderdale? Sometimes he looked like a clown. If they could have gotten Ann Bishop to wear some makeup, imagine the ratings they would have gotten. Thanks for a great show. Maybe Ann Bishop set the way for, what's her name? Rachel Maddow. Pasty Dyke. It's in, I guess, being a pasty dyke. Ellen, she's pasty dyke.
Yeah.
Rachel, they don't come no pastier than Rachel. Oh, there you go, picking on poor Rachel again. She's so great. Yeah. Adam is back again, the one that sent one of those horrible emails before. Feelings, he says.
Yes.
By Morris
Albert.
What was it? Albert. Wasn't it?
Yes.
Morris the cat? You know, Morris the cat from the commercial, did I ever tell you my old friend Larry Box in Miami wound up with that cat, the actual cat from the commercials. Mean, nasty, rotten cat. Ooh. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
See, there you go. After all these years, you finally learned something new from me.
Wow.
Bob B. says, well, you don't care about Morris, I guess.
No.
Because you don't remember those spots, Morris the cat?
Of course I do.
Do you?
From when I was a little kid, yeah.
Nasty kitty cat. Of course, cats are rotten anyway. All you people with cats out there, I have no idea what you're thinking about. There's nothing like a nice little dog. They had the dog show last night. I watched about 40 seconds of that.
Yeah, the family was watching
Westminster.
that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, the women in the house. Yeah.
I see. I won't watch that. I'm a big dog lover, but the dogs that they bring out, they had the bulldog on there. Oh. Well, why do they keep breeding animals that look like that, Of course, I can look in the mirror and ask the same question, but especially when I had that big shock of hair on the back. Boy, that shocked me when I saw that picture. I just about fell on the floor. I thought, are you kidding me? Is that a stunt photo or something or what? A big clump. How the hell could I do that?
It was a mistake?
I was careless.
Yeah?
You can't afford to be careless and walk out of the house looking like that.
That should be the biggest mistake you make all day.
That should be the biggest mistake I make at any point in my life. Right. You're right. Should be, like my mother used to say, should be your worst problem. And, of course, she was. Bob B. says, this is a long overdue poll. Wow. How about adding CCR's Proud Mary? I go amen to that.
Right.
Petey Bolger in those Zeta days. It says, I know your old station Zeta played the Schmidt out of it. Love John Fogerty, but enough is enough. I'm your friend, Bob B. Proud Mary by CCR. We're not putting the artists on there, which is good. It's enough for poor little Georges. You got to put all these 8 million names on the list. Mm-hmm. Oh, and also, I had an email, which I'm sure is at the bottom of the pile because I have these in reverse order of when they came in. Somebody reminded me of
where's the list?
Where that came from.
Yeah.
And you were right. It had to do with Kathy Willits. Will I ever find it?
On the air. We talked about it. On the air.
No, I know we talked about it, but it was more specific.
I see.
You think I can find it?
I don't know. Where's the list email?
Oh, I've got so many. And see, I do this wrong. Because I have my pile here, and what I do is the newest ones that come in go on top. So the ones that came in ages ago, even yesterday, they go all the way to the bottom. Mm-hmm. Sitting there on pins and needles on the to hear themselves recognized. Oh, I do like this one, though. This is one of my favorite emails of all time, before I get to the other thing. This is excellent. From Ben Schmiegel. Subject, The Pig Rogers Show. I think I've emailed to complain about Neil's eating before, but on Friday, hearing Neil eat into the microphone was sick. I think it was Chinese food, and Neil was making smacking sounds that sounded grotesque. I had to turn off the radio for a while. As someone who went to etiquette school, it sickens me. He went to etiquette school. I can say this to you.
You fairy.
You can always tell what kind of person is by how they eat. Neil eating on the air revealed a lot to me. See, here's somebody with total lack of any sense of humor. Unless, of course, this is make-believe by John ZTR, probably. You probably eat with your elbows on the table and use your fingers to push food into the fork while wiping your mouth with a tablecloth or your own hands. This isn't proper, and it wouldn't bother me, but it did. I couldn't get that grotesque sound off my mind, so I felt I had to write in. Yeah, this is John ZTR. Mm-hmm. Please take this advice to heart. If you can impress someone with your eating skills, you can win them over in every other aspect. Not that it matters at your old age. That's right. Screw you, Ben. Anyway, take care, Uncle Neil. Your show is great, so please, less eating and more show. That's my response to you. And that's straight from etiquette school, too. They teach you how to do a real good raspberry in etiquette school. Trust me, Ben. Anyway, getting back to the poll and the 8 million, I knew this would happen, and that's good. Helps us mail it in today. We sure as hell need a day to be help mailing it in, don't we?
Right.
George won't be here on Friday, so we'll have Flea.
Right. He'll be flea mailing it in.
That's right. And then we got Alice Rantel. Is our friend Sandy still on the air somewhere? I miss the WNWS days. I don't know what it is, but it's moving, says Alice Rantel, the fake one. No, Sandy's not on the air. She eloped with Ann Bishop's body. Na, hey, hey, goodbye, somebody says for the poll. By Steam, right?
Correct. Are we putting that on there?
I'm coming back under my own steam. Matt Damon says that in Talented Mr. Ripley, you know. Mm-hmm. He's telling Jude Law about how he's going to come back under his own steam. That's when they were out in the boat, you know.
Right.
The boat of them were out there in the boat. And Matt got into a little kind of a hissy thing. Goes to show you, just because someone's a flaming queen like Matt Damon portrayed in the movie, and I'm not sure he was acting, don't take it for granted they couldn't get a little violent, you know? Screamer. Are you putting what on there?
Na, hey, hey, kiss it
Jeff
now.
in Port St. Lucie says, go ahead, how about Freebird? I hate it. The poll question isn't a song you hate. What song do you hate the worst?
They're going to answer the question they want to answer, mister.
Well, screw
Who the
them.
hell are you?
Screw them. If they don't want to answer the question we're asking, then just move on. Move along. To hell with their stupid-ass email. The fake Paris Hilton, who's been sending several emails this morning, all idiotic. The most overplayed song is Disturbia by that bitch Rihanna. I'm so glad Chris Brown smacked her in the face again. I think I'm prettier anyway. Right, George, says Paris Hilton? No. One less bitch I have to worry about. Kim Kardashian. You're next, honey. Ho. The fake Paris Hilton. Well, at least we got some new fakers today. Flea, you didn't have to send it twice, Flea. Once was more than enough. Whitney Houston, I will always love you. I want to drink a quart of Drano just thinking about that song, says somebody, some guy. You got it? Are you writing putting all these down?
Some of them.
Yeah, whatever he feels like. 214 vote. By the end of that's our goal today, is to have like 4,000 songs by the end of the show today. So name a song.
Sports Queer Radio is what the Q's for in QAM. Today on TMZ.
Angelina, you're on the cover of W Magazine breastfeeding your twins.
I am.
And you're breastfeeding now, I see.
Yeah, certainly for now. It's my job.
Your job? You're breastfeeding not only your new twins, you're nursing all 6 of your kids, including the 7-year-old.
It tastes so good. It's yummy.
That's weird.
It's also smart.
Wait a minute. That's the neighbor's kid.
But no child left behind means no child left behind.
He's 15 years old. Hey, get out of here, you little freak.
I'm sorry, man. I'm pretty drunk.
Today on TMZ.
Oh, speaking of a lot of kids, that bitch with the 14 kids, why don't they just electrocute her?
Sure, and the kids with her.
She's unemployed, she's like unmarried,
Right.
She's got no income, and she's got 14 kids.
Pretty sure those are fake lips. I think she's a prostitute. That's just
No,
my
she's
guess.
got the Pudge Rodriguez. No, not Pudge. A-Fraud.
I see.
A-Fraud lips. Now, what are you saying?
Pour gas on them all and set them on fire.
That's a great idea. Have a bonfire. Here's the way the poll is shaping up so far. 221 votes. The most overplayed song on the radio is or was You Light Up My Life, 37. Stairway to Heaven, 35. We got a good 3-way battle going on. Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree, 31. Piano Man, 26. I Got You, Babe, 16. I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing, 14. Macarena, 11. Everybody else is in single digits. No votes yet for Seasons in the Sun, Feelings, Proud Mary, I Will Always Love You, House of the Rising Sun, or Money. Money. We want a whole bag of money. That's what we want. Big old bag of money. Keith says, please add Green Day. I hope you had the time of your life. This song was played over and over. It was on the final episode of every show there for a while. Well, what does that mean, the final episode of every show? What does that mean?
I don't know, the final episode.
P.S. Cats are much never than dogs. Much never.
I'm sure they meant nicer. What's this Green Day song they want on here?
I hope you had the time of your life. You're going to put that on there?
No.
No. Cats are much never than dogs.
That's right. Just never forget that.
Well, I figure somebody would write something like that, you know, as a cat lover. Here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, kitty. Yeah. Phil Ark is back. How do you like that? And by the way, the Rangers are really stinking the joint out, aren't they? Wow. Rangers. I don't hear from that guy anymore. Of course, we're not taking any calls, but nevertheless. Rangers. Big start. Now they're dropping. Got shut out by Jersey last night. They lose every day. They're dropping through the pack like a falling rock. Phil Ark says Tom didn't say anything of the sort in Rosenberg's show. He was just gloating about hosting events and participating in Howard's show and the Ima show while also interviewing White House correspondents. According to him, no one had such a variety of topics. I see. At the next huge meeting with the QM brass, they asked, how can we improve your show, Neil? Just say this to humor yourself, George or me. Install a text messaging machine or number. It will provide you concise and immediate feedback. No stupid calls. The text messages by design have to be shorter, and we're not by our computers all the time. Oh, I see. Well, evidently you got more than enough time to be by your computer, Phil. Jay and the Americans, This Magic Moment, most overplayed. Ever listen to Magic? Enough said. That's one of my favorite songs of all time, Jay and the Americans. This Magic. I love that song. Don't you?
I like
you
it
don't like
fine.
it?
I like it fine.
Oh. Then, of course, continuing. I love it. Continuing to be the jackass that this phony Phil is. Stephen Harper may have different views than you espouse, but you have to admit he's raised the profile of the Canadian Prime Minister. When was the last time anyone in the U.S. ever even knew the name of Canadian PM? And they still don't. They would know Stephen Harper from Terry Harper from the old Montreal Canadiens. Oh, and then he says, Leafs suck, go Montreal. Well, how'd it work out Saturday night in Montreal, huh, Phil? Toronto 5, Montreal 2? With that kid, Carey Price, that couldn't stop a bowling ball. He makes Vesa Tosca look like Jacques Plante. Go Montreal, my ass. New York City Dave says, how about American Pie by Don McLean? How about it? How about a little slice? And then, speaking of hockey, well, what's with these people hockey intensive? Don't they understand nobody in this audience cares about it? Looks like Sean Avery's headed back to the Rangers. Think he'll get the team back in their winning ways? Absolutely not. A disgrace. A disgrace. Fits right in like a rubber glove. Speaking of winning ways, good luck at Woodbine, says New York City Dave, who's beyond chronic. Way beyond chronic. Professor Dr. Henry Finkelstein, whose old email is in the pile here somewhere. Maybe I'll get to it, maybe not. I've got about 600 emails. He says, how about Hero by Enrique Iglesias? Was way overplayed. Hope you can read my long email. Sorry, I thought I had to get some stuff off my chest. Thank you, Professor Dr. Fake Henry K. Finkelstein. All the fakers all the time. And you know what George says? All the emailers, they're all fake.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 or 3 real ones, and that's it.
Right.
Rich Pachter is real. He's on there.
Yes, he is.
He's got something today. I forget what it is. Kenny Grammer's real. He says, Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses, Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. He lists 2. Now, wouldn't you think Kenny would know better than that? It's not name a couple or name a few. It's what's the most overplayed song. Not a couple or a few. God. That's bad. Coming from Kenny, from a guy like that who's supposed to know something about this business. Supposed to, being the operative term. He worked at IOD, so.
Right.
Like us, he's been on the fringe of broadcasting for a long time. Joe says, this won't win the pool, but I remember about 1980 after hearing My Sharona by the Knack a couple of times, it got old real fast. And, of course, the radio stations kept playing it over and over, and to this day, that's how it's done with any hit. Even if I like the band, if a song of theirs makes it onto the radio, I turn it off immediately. Radio sucks. The only radio I listen to is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. your show. The old stuff you have from Crapco is the best, says Joe. Here's Rich Pachter, who says Freeburg, or as they say in Tamarack, Friedberg. Oi.
Oi.
Freebird. You want to put that on there or not? It's up to you.
Sure.
It's your call. Your computer's illin'. It's got issues. How's it reacting now?
It's still broken. I'm doing everything in a roundabout.
What do you mean it's broken? What is it not doing?
Okay, nothing I want, so I'm doing everything in a roundabout sort of way.
Wow.
Yeah.
The roundabouts.
Yes.
And it's working?
After a fashion.
Well, I'll be damned. Wouldn't you know that's our luck? On a day when we're going to have like 6,000 choices on the poll.
Right.
Our stinking luck. Steve says the worst, most overplayed song is Feliz Navidad. I don't put it on there because it never gets played other than at holiday time.
Where all the holiday songs get overplayed.
Right, that's right. They all get overplayed. Like even Little Saint Nick, which by the Beach Boys is a great song.
Sure.
But you wouldn't put that on there because it only gets played at Christmas time. When the Goyim are dangling all their stuff. What the hell was that?
What?
It was a sound.
I see.
There it goes again. It's the end of the world.
Go ahead.
Greg says, how about, fill me a Buttercup? Every time you put on oldie station, it's playing, says Greg. Fill me up Buttercup. On a yellow label, but I forget who sang it. I can't even think of it. I know the song. Fill Me Up Buttercup by the somebody.
I don't know. That's not.
You don't know?
That's not something that I can find right now.
What do you mean? Oh, I can find it in the book. Oh, God. When you get to be this old, man, you shouldn't have to be picking up a 500-pound book. This Billboard book. First Time Love. Another chance at love. That's another chance at love. That's not the name of the song, Fill Me Up, Buttercup.
No, it's not.
Well, what's the name of the song?
I don't know. Maybe that's why we can't find it.
Oh. Why don't you? Why won't you?
Right.
Why am I wasting my time? Why do lovers break each other's hearts by Bobby Sox and the Blue Jeans? Wow. I don't know what it's called. Somebody will send me an email. Or not, and you know what? Life will go on.
It just might.
Kenny says for the poll, let's give them something to talk about. What's that?
Bonnie Raitt.
Oh!
I think.
It says, if you're still trying to think of a great Canadian musician, how about Neil Young? Speaking of Canada, I made my first trip to Toronto last May. Didn't get to explore the city nearly enough. I hope I get to make it back sometime. Seemed like a great place. Love you, Uncle Neil. Kenny. It is a great place. It's not perfect. It's got horrible weather in the wintertime this year anyway. This is the worst winter I can recall since my days in Detroit. Oh, boy, you talk about bad winters. In Michigan, East Lansing, Michigan, in the wintertime, and in Windsor, Ontario, oh, my God, at the racetrack, the wind goes through you like a dagger. Goes right through your heart. Flea. This is the 80th from Flea. I nominate Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville. Now, is this from the real flea or what?
I added Margaritaville.
Oh, did you? Okay. Well, he just wants to make sure. Like yours truly, he can't stand Jimmy Buffett. I don't know what the thing is with Jimmy Buffett. What is that?
What? No,
Cheeseburger in Paradise, all the other corny...
I have no problem with Jimmy.
Rednecky, you what?
I have no problem with Jimmy Buffett.
Well, I got a real problem with Jimmy.
Oh, Neil. Neil, God.
All right.
Never washed his hair or seemed to have a care, Cobain. His name was Kurt, now he's pushing up dirt, Cobain. Wiping drool from his chin, doing heroin, Cobain. Nirvana was hot, and now it's Kurt they ain't got, Cobain.
Yeah, we know it's Build Me Up Buttercup by the Foundations. We got 400 emails.
He got high, said goodbye, then he died. Cobain.
I'm dying over here.
Absolutely. Made $1 million an hour, never took a shower, Cobain.
You failed.
He's a #1 hit in heaven's big mosh pit, Cobain. He'll meet Elvis the King and say grunge was my thing, Cobain. So if you're filled with doubt, don't take Kurt's way out, Cobain. He got high, said goodbye, then he died, Cobain.
Oh, if there's anything you do before you die, you got to see that movie about Kurt Cobain.
No,
what's it called?
No, it'll make you want to die. Matter of fact, see it on your deathbed. You won't feel so bad about dying.
What the hell was the name of that?
I don't know.
Oh, that was
like
that
a one word. I purged it
one
from
of the
my
worst
memory.
movies of all time. And with these long shots of the front of that house. I mean, just
a whole lot of nothing going on.
Yeah, that's right. There was nothing going on. But nevertheless, yeah, if you're really bored sometime and you want to see what a bad movie is really all about, well, somebody will send the name in. We had about 6,000 people tell me, including Andrew from Richmond Hill. People often get the lyrics wrong. It's Build Me Up, Buttercup by the Foundation. Right. Not Fill Me Up, like a gas tank, you know. Not to be confused with the other Andrew, who's a total douche, says Andrew in Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill's up the street quite a ways. It's up north, up yonder there. It's up there. Daisy says, which Morris? There have been at least 6 cats named Morris. Well, how do I know, Daisy? Which Morris? Oh, the world has got such Soros, and Daisy wants to know which Morris. Maybe it was Dick Morris. Have you seen the dog some people are trying to pass off to Barack Obama? How the hell does a toothless dog eat, or does the vet have to fit these breeds with canine dentures? Cute little dog. Its ears are too big, though. The one thing about Tiny, he did not have big ears. His ears were, in proportion to his head. This little dog's got big ears, kind of like the president.
Yeah.
It says, I suppose this breed would solve the allergy problem. Being toothless solves the problem of biting news reporters, says Daisy. The Peruvians have a puppy for the Obamas. The national dog fits the hypoallergenic job description the Obamas have written for the first puppy. May not fit the mind picture that young Malia and Sasha, Malia, is that her name?
Malia
and Sasha, the first daughters, have of their first puppy. However, it is hairless. Did they have one of these at the dog show last night? Since you were forced to watch it?
No. I didn't watch it. I said the women were watching it. I left the room.
Oh, good for you. I had it on for about 40 seconds, and they had that nasty, drooling bulldog on there. Why do people think that bulldogs are beautiful or great animals? Or
novelty factor,
Jesus, God. It made me think of Josh Friedman.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Bulldogs. And I didn't see any pit bulls, though. I guess they probably wouldn't let them bring them out, would they? I don't know.
I guess not.
And I didn't watch long enough to see any dog squat and do a joist there on the...
I don't think pit bulls are a pure breed for them to qualify for.
What does that mean?
That they're a mixed breed.
You picking on the Chinaman again?
What?
I just love that word, Chinaman. Somebody can send in another fake email or fax and say, oh, Paul and Ron were calling people Chinese-mon this morning. Yeah. Just a bunch of John Provocatorum out there. Troublemakers. Professional people with no lives. Like the people in the condos. You know, the condo commandos.
Oh, yeah.
They like to read everybody else's mail. Real yentas. That's what we have in this market. Yentas. Oh, do you hear what so-and-so said about you? Yeah, right. The Peruvian hairless dog, a bald and often toothless breed that's won the heart of Incan kings. Inca Dinka Doo. Remember Jimmy Durante and Inca Dinka Doo? I wonder if Inca had a Dinka. Is Peru's offering for President-elect Barack Obama's worldwide search for the perfect dog. Perfect dog? How can there be a perfect dog? I mean, Tiny was, cute little dog, but not perfect, man. A lot of noise. Yap, 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 yap. Yap, 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 yap. Every 40 seconds he'd have to go out. Every 40 seconds. Wow. And then he'd go out for like a half an hour and doodle around the yard and then come in and pee on the carpet. You know what I mean? What is that?
That's what dogs
What is
do.
that all about? It'd be like if I walked around the house for half an hour and then walked outside and peed on the lawn. I don't think I would do it.
Why not?
Well, it'd be good for, growing good grass. If anybody likes good grass. Owners say the breed, which traces its origins 3,000 years ago, a piker perhaps by greyhound standards, is perfect for kids who are sensitive to dogs. I wonder if the old Egyptian rulers had greyhound racing. You think they had dog tracks back then? Maybe. They had like they do in Mexico, I'm sure now. They had mule races.
Yeah?
Burros. They don't cause any type of allergy. They're very friendly and sweet, according to Claudia Galvez, director of the Friends of the Peruvian Hairless Dog Association. We want to give a male puppy to Obama's daughters, she says, so they experience all the joys of having a dog but without any allergies. Apparently, the above-average body temperature of these pets compensates for their lack of a coat, which also spares owners from any symptoms of asthma. Galvez has a 4-month-old pedigree puppy ready for delivery. Its name is Ears, which apparently is one of the few features the breed does have. Big ears. Big old ears. But if the Obamas accept it, they're suggesting a new name, Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu. Isn't that a great name for a dog?
Sure, why not?
I mean, what kind of a name is that for a dog? Machu Picchu?
Not very clever.
We got Pikachu. What's that under?
Pika.
Pika?
Pika?
Take a peek at this.
P-I-K.
Peony Enhancer? Well, I'm not going to look for it. Okay, so there you go. Now, this is an old article, obviously. So did they actually take that dog or what? I'm not really big on the presidential dog and that whole deal.
Who gives a rat's ass?
That's right. Ass? Or the presidential rats. I'm sure that Dick Cheney had some rats. That's what Chris Matthews says. Let me tell you what he called the... Yeah. Let me tell you what he called the vice president.
Go ahead.
Dick Cheney. Why he said that, I don't know. He's got all these strange affectations, Chris Matthews. He's just a goofball. If you look up goofball, you'll see his picture next to it. Robert Smith says, how about Eric Clapton's live version of Cocaine? Oh, that's why I played that. If you listened to FM rock radio back in the early 80s, you couldn't escape this song no matter how hard you tried. Not to mention the fact it went on and on. I couldn't dive fast enough to switch the station of my car radio whenever it came on. Cocaine. Da-da-da-da-da. You got it?
Got it.
By the way, did that kid still die, that little kid that jumped out the window?
Yeah.
Now, did he jump out the window or did he fall out the window?
He was playing. See, nobody was in the room at the time, which was
the nanny wasn't there?
Problem, you see. That's what
Maybe he should have had a male nanny like John Revolta.
You're not watching your children.
Should have had a male nanny like John Revolta.
Sure.
And by the way, I'm not taking that picture down. The picture will stay up there as long as we want it to, which, it's only been up there a couple of weeks. Evidently, there's some people out there bothered by the picture of John Revolta kissing his male nanny on the lips. You know, the male nanny for the kid that's now dead?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's a parent, just like that bitch with her 14 kids. And even the mother is ripping her an ass. Did you hear the interview with her?
No.
About how she's full of crap and she lies and she has no income and she couldn't support one kid, much less 14, and yada, yada, yada. And this is like not having babies. This is like having a litter, speaking of puppies. Having a litter.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do with it? I'm sure the Pope approves. I bet you he's happy as hell if she's a good Catholic. The Pope would like every Catholic to make 14 babies. And by the way, Pops, you know that stuff that's going on in the rectories? They don't make babies like that. Similar, but not a match. And the board goes back. Williams says, many in your audience will never have even heard of this song. Oh, I did. But for those of us who grew up back in the day, the one song that was played so much that all of these records eventually just melted was Billy, Don't Be a Hero. Oh. Enough to make me vomit up meals from back in my Kalamazoo days 100 years ago. Boy, I sure ate good in that town. Boy, they have good restaurants there. Really good restaurants. Good food. You know what I had? I had a corporate, I was the GM of the station. And I had a corporate American Express card with 10 grand credit line. So my sales manager and I, Ivan Cisco, we would go and eat in all these really great restaurants all the time. Well, that helped keep my girth way up there, 240, 245, whatever. Mm-hmm. Good restaurants. And also Shakey's Pizza, which isn't a good restaurant, but it was a great pizza joint. And here's one from Steve. Haven't been listening a lot recently due to work. What happened to Ken Malden? Screwed. He got screwed at it. That's what happened to Ken Malden. He got fired at it. As part of the cost-cutting campaign at QAM, they eliminated the afternoon update guys because obviously nothing is going on in the afternoon in sports. Right. And so, therefore, they screwed Ken Malden. They fired his ass unceremoniously. And in spite of what the Humper thinks, see, Humper thinks that he can call Clarence and Clarence is going to do his bidding. Yeah. Because when Hank and I had dinner that night at the Woodbine, he's telling me, I called Clarence and I really let him have it and told him, and he's telling me that they're going to give him some weekend work. Is Ken back on the thing on the weekends? No. See, Humper, I know that you think that you've got tremendous clout, but when it comes to this company, number one, you don't work here anymore, and number two, they couldn't give a flying crap what you have to say, or what I have to say, and I still work here. Let's have another one of those conference calls. Let's do this often, and we can sit around and laugh how Joyce ruined the show. Would be good. Great idea, Joe.
Well, it be the 12 to 1 hour on WQAM.
Faster than a touch-tone phone. Louder than a pneumatic drill. Able to sidestep reality in a single bound.
Look, they're on the phone.
It's a rabid moose.
It's a brain jackass.
Jeez, do you believe these people?
No, it's Yenta Man. Yes, it's Yenta Man. Strange visitor from another market with a phone growing out of his head.
Craig Worthing is going to do mornings on She. What do you think?
Yenta Man, with a bizarre compulsion to pass along radio gossip.
They thought it was an eclipse of the sun, but it turned out to be Debbie Ellis. Unbelievable!
Yenta Man, who can change the course of any discussion. Dial 2 telephones with one hand. And who, disguised as Lee Howler, ill-mannered talk host for a semi-professional radio station, fights a never-ending battle for rumor, innuendo, and Arbitron advances.
Yeah, Neil is leaving Miami to buy a station in Lakeland. Do you believe that guy?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that's by request by the fake Joey Reynolds.
Okay.
Maybe the fake Joey Reynolds is Jim Schuyler. You think?
No.
Well, why not?
I don't know.
You don't know where Jim Schuyler is. I keep asking that every day. Where's Jim Schuyler?
I say Jupiter, West Palm. That's the last I heard. I say that every time.
He's on Jupiter?
Sure.
Well, it's a damn good thing he ain't on Uranus. Anyway, the fake Joey says AC/DC and Back in Black. I don't agree with that at all.
Good. Save me
Do you
some
think
work.
that was one of those overplayed songs till it comes out of your... No, I don't think so.
Looky here, because you mentioned it earlier.
Looky here?
Looky here, right here. You mentioned it earlier in the show. Every time a song becomes a hit, they play it a lot. And to a lot of people, that means overplayed.
Mm-hmm.
So we can
but we're talking about overplayed to the point of lunacy, to the point of wanting to commit suicide.
I know what you mean by the question.
To the point of wanting to kill somebody.
But they're going to say,
Billy,
how many
don't
songs
be a
can you
hero.
name?
Who did that? That was a horrible song. If they played it once, it was too much.
No, Terry Jackson's Season in the Sun. I'll find out.
Similar.
Yeah.
Same kind of sound. Chalushes. Oh, here's one from the fake Geldy. All right, Steve Geldstein. It says, P.S., this is not a fake. It might be the first ever. Maybe it is from Geldy.
By the way, Lee did not email you at all today.
I told you that wasn't him. What's wrong with you? Aren't you the guy that says all the emails are fake, they're fraud?
Right.
And now you're telling me, Lee didn't... Look at the battle we got going on. You light up my life 42, Stairway to Heaven 40. And tie a yellow ribbon around that thing, 33.
Bo Donaldson.
Bo Donaldson and Billy, don't be a hero. Don't be a zero. Remember that? We got a takeoff on that. It's called DA Don't Get a Zero.
Oh!
But he did. 9 o'clock hour. We got nobody listening. I think 9 to 10 ought to be Ask the Manager. I think Joe Bell ought to have that hour. Then we get some people calling in. Oh, boy. Can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Blow the phones out. Guaranteed. So Geldy says, I have to nominate Hotel California. When I was in Syracuse, this swill was on every single day. Please don't rip me anymore. My wife is with me today. We're doing some shopping. I'm emailing you from my iPhone. Okay, we won't rip you, Geldy. What do you think about tonight's game? The Macarena will be packed for sure. We need to win badly. P.S. This is not a fake. I think it might be the first one ever. So Geldy must be down there. Well, I guess ordinarily he would be down there unless he's with the team on the road, carrying a heavy load on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Maple Leafs and the Panthers. Panthers are having a really good season. They're right on the cusp of the eighth and final playoff spot. They're on the cusp. Mm-hmm. And the Rangers, they're dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. So it's a publicity stunt to they get Sean Avery again. A goon, an idiot. Goon with a G. Goon. So you think this is the real Geldy or what?
No.
Why do you say that?
Because
he says the Macarena will be packed for sure. Why do you think that is? For the Leafs? The Leafs don't draw flies down there unless we get a whole bunch of Toronto people, and it's already the 10th of February. I don't think they're there. I could be wrong. But you see a lot of Ontario plates down there now?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I do.
You do? How about
Hollywood?
Quebec, eh? How about Quebec? Parlez-vous Froggy? Huh?
Oui.
The fake... I'm never going to get through all these emails, but I'll do my best. Keep them coming. I think this is a great way to get the emails. It's boring as hell, but nevertheless, it kills some really good time. I mean, even if Geldy is sending in crap,
Mm-hmm.
You think Geldy's sending in crap?
No.
First of all, how is Geldy... that's right. He's down there. He's listening on QAM. Well, if he's in Broward, he can still hear the station. Is that what we're saying? Broward! Nice going, Geldy. He always had a great sense of humor. Hates me like poison. Doug says, the fake Doug, you know what would be good is you doing the vocals of these songs you hate. I would pay for recording of that. Thanks for making me laugh. I need it these days. Smoke on the water, he wants to add. Smoke on the water.
Amen.
It really blows. What?
I said, amen. See,
Smoke on the...
That's a good example of a song that way beyond the time that it was a hit, they just kept playing it in movies and everywhere, and your pop-up posters.
Yeah. Here's one that says, what is this? Can you please play Here Come the FAGs? I already played it last week.
They like the FAGs.
It says, last night I immediately thought of you and everything you say about sport holes regarding their obsession with gimme the ball, gimme the ball, gimme the ball. I was watching the Obama TV show about his stimulus package. I was getting a little hopeful because he mentioned By the way, Geldy, if you're out there, I want Luke Shen up here immediately, if not sooner. Put him on a plane and send him to my place. Hey, Luke. Wow. What a fine young gentleman that is. Luke Shen, number 2, defenseman. The rookie. That rookie scored his first NHL goal Saturday in Montreal. Luke Shen. He's my buddy. You don't know it yet, but he's my buddy. I was getting a little hopeful, it says, because he mentioned putting money into my field of employment, or should I say unemployment at the moment. Then he started taking questions, and they were all good questions relevant to the stimulus package. Then some colored man got up. I wonder what color. I wonder if he had pink lips like Payrod. And said, Mr. Obama, what do you think about Alex Rodriguez and his impact on sports, or something of that effect? Unbelievable. The freaking economy is falling apart. People are in desperate need of a job like me, and you got idiots who care about nothing except sports, sports, sports. Keep up the entertainment. The unemployment depression is really bothering me, and you're the only thing worth smiling about these days. Please, for the love of God, allow me to get hired this year. Thanks, Neil. And his email address is Xenogear900. Whatever that means. Do you know what that means?
No.
And I'm not playing Here Come the FAG. Maybe I'll play it later. I played it last week for him. He can't find it in the archives. And you'd think a guy that's unemployed like that would have all day to, be looking for it. And the bit, too. I used to have those days. I'd spend all day looking for it. And some days I'd find it.
Really? Then what?
Paul in the Cuse. Paul in the queue says, up in Syracuse, when I heard Blinded by the Light on TK99, I know I can look down my watch, it'll say 12:05 p.m. Blinded by the Light. Now, Manfred Mann did the original, but didn't the unctuous Bruce Springsteen do it?
Bruce Springsteen did the original. That's a remake, and a damn good remake.
Well, let me tell you right now, the remake is a hell of a lot better than Bruce Springsteen, who couldn't sing his way out of a
By the way, if you've
toilet
ever
bowl.
heard his version of it, it's brutal.
Blinded by the light.
It doesn't even sound like the same song.
Roll up like a douchey. Yeah. And what is it that they say in that song? There's so much controversy about that.
Revved up like a deuce.
Revved up like a douche?
Okay. That's what
Revved up like a deuce in what?
Joke. I'll email you the lyric.
Will you?
Yeah.
Boy, all these years I've wondered what the hell Manfred Mann is saying there. Rolled up like a douche. Wow. Douchey box. Rick says, good morning. Well, it's already afternoon. See what I mean about the emails? I got them way out of order. They're all ass-backward order here, including the one on the bottom. Man gets $750K in priest molestation case, New Haven, Connecticut.
Anyway,
I'll get to it.
You want me to email
not.
you this, or I'll just tell you? Revved up like a deuce.
Yeah.
That's it. Another runner in the night.
Revved up like a deuce in what?
Another runner in the night.
Another runner
Blinded
in the
by
night?
the light.
What does that mean? There's Charlie Crist.
It's getting harder every day, and we know that it's important that we pass a stimulus package. It's important.
Charlie's going back for the stimulus. He wants to stimulate it.
It is important
and Obama's looking at him. You know what he's thinking? You fairy.
To help our infrastructure. And to help health care for those who need it the most vulnerable among us.
Oh, they're in Fort Myers. Poor Obama.
And let me finish by saying, Mr. President, we need to do it in a bipartisan way.
Hey, Charlie.
This issue of helping our country is about helping our country. This is not about partisan politics. This is about rising above that, helping America, and reigniting our economy. You know, a great president once said the government ought to be of the people, by the people, and for the people. That was Abraham Lincoln, whose birthday we celebrate later this week. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Florida welcome to President Barack Obama.
What a hug. You see that hug?
No.
Thank you.
Charlie's used to
soap. Are you kidding me? This time of day?
You're dropping the soap at this time of day?
Best soap opera in the world. You want to know what that lyric means or what?
Thank you very much.
They're in Fort Myers, baby. Look at all them retards in the audience.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
There's a Chinese kid behind Obama. Do they know they got Chinese on in Fort Myers?
How do you like that?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Please, have a seat.
Yeah, sit down and shut up.
It is good to be in Florida.
Easy for you to say.
Especially in February. I want to acknowledge a number of people who are here, who are just great friends and outstanding public servants. We've got Florida Chief Financial Officer Alex Sink. Give Alex a big round of applause. We have your own mayor, Jim Humphrey. Thank you, Mayor. Representative Alan Grayson.
How about Ileana Roseanne Dana?
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil God.
I want my kidney back.
Yeah.
After you got it, you jumped in the sack.
Yeah.
Hooked up with someone else behind my back.
Yeah.
Unfaithful wife, give me my kidney back.
Yeah.
Now I want it back. Surgery, I gave it to you, my kidney. But this is how you went and repaid me. And now you've broken up our family. Now I want it back. My kidney. Remove it now. Give it to me. Remove it now. You cheated on me. Remove it now.
You hurt me.
Remove it
I got you off the waiting list.
Remove it now.
I'm feeling this.
You failed.
Marriage is through.
Remove it now.
It's because of you.
You failed. Now.
Give me my kidney.
Remove it now.
Or give me my knee.
You failed. Now.
Give me my kidney.
Well, 12:17 at 560 WQAM. That wasn't even Todd Pettengill. That's ACN. How do you like that?
Wow.
Sure sounded like him, didn't it?
No.
Not.
Sounded
like Jim Schuyler to me. I bet you it's Jim Schuyler. Here's Oscar. Oscar says, some advice for you. Take some calls, you old goat. It doesn't matter who this is. It's the Neil Rogers Show, and that's what's important. Well, guess what? I'm not taking any calls. Oscar. Screw you. Have some advice for you, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're having a real problem today. Not. Take some calls. You can only imagine who that is.
Yeah.
Excellent program, Neil. George is gay.
He wishes.
Yeah. He's already got the boyfriend, so.
That's not enough. Boyfriend ain't famous.
Here's one for it says, thank you so much for playing. I'd like to teach the world to sing yesterday. It got stuck in my head and was even there while I was banging my ex-girlfriend last night. Nothing like getting some from your ex. Which sounds fine until we get to the last line of this. It says, that song alone made me never drink Pepsi again. Well, Pepsi are not the people who use that for the commercials, okay? It was Coke.
Correct.
Made me never... Well, what does that mean?
Obviously, they're mistaken.
Confused?
A little bit.
Confused?
Tad bit.
It's the real thing. Da, da, da. Oh, I used to have a disc with all those spots. I bet I do somewhere here. During the next break, I'm going to look for it. Chicken X sent me that a long time ago. It's got all those... The Fortunes. Remember that Fortune song?
Yep.
You got your troubles and I've got mine?
Yep.
Which was a different campaign than I'd like to teach the world. Yeah, give the world a Coke or whatever the hell that's. I'd like to snort with the world with a Coke, something like that crap. Imperius says it looks like John Brunetti transferred title of Hialeah Park into some other entity under his name. Definitely some hanky-panky going on. It says, whoa. Nothing worse than when hanky-spanky's going on, especially in Hialeah. Got to get some reason for building that metro rail for $1 billion, you know what?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go out there to Hialeah, don't they?
No.
Oh. Jeff says, when I heard Yenta Man, I thought it was a new bit about you. Love the show. Well, thank you, Jeff. There you go. He ain't no Luke Shen, but then again, who is? Kathy, who's becoming just obsessive. She says about the 14 baby mom. Still haven't heard the one burning question in my mind about this woman and her medically assisted pregnancy. Where the hell did she get the money for the pregnancy?
She's a hooah.
I found a place in Chicago whose website says the average cost for a complete IVF cycle in the U.S. is about $12,000 plus medications. In large metro areas, it tends to be higher. There are some low-cost IVF programs that charge significantly less than average. Some in vitro fertilization centers charge $20,000 to $25,000 for a complete in vitro cycle without meds. How does an unemployed woman afford this twice? Wasn't her first 6 kids also in vitro? Yeah, she's got 6 plus 8 is 14.
I think
she keeps having these litters.
Under the table.
She's doing it under the table?
I think so.
I think she's doing it on the table, next to the table. What do you mean under the table?
Get it?
No.
She's a whore. That's my accusation. That's my theory.
Well, what do you mean she's a whore? How is that? What's that got to do with...
My theory is that she has sex for money.
Oh, I see. And that's how she raised... Well, she must have a lot of sex to raise all that cash.
Or she gets paid a lot of money.
Yeah. Maybe she's hot.
To somebody.
I wouldn't imagine she's too hot anymore after she popped out those 14 kids. But nevertheless, who knows? Rick says, for your poll... See, and I'm going backwards on these, so there's going to be a whole lot of these for the poll again. There's at least 50,000 more emails. Rick says, for your poll, Terry Jack's Seasons in the Sun, anything by Mr. Denver like Wildfire. Anything by... See, again, it doesn't answer the question.
John Denver didn't sing Wildfire.
I know. That was, who was it? Michael...
Oh, geez.
Somebody. See, you don't even... Michael Murphy.
There it is. Very good.
Am I right?
Yep.
What a genius, man. Michael Murphy. I don't even like that song. Every time I hear any of these, it gives me wild diarrhea. Anything by Mr. Denver.
I wish my music player worked.
It doesn't?
Not the one where I can find everything, no.
Oh, no.
The one where I can't is the one that works.
P.S. Rick says, like I said, he's a genius. I sent the Arbitron books yesterday. I want you and George to get a high rating so Joe, Mr. Not Wonderful, can have a fit and you can go onto a real station. Ha ha. Well, thanks, Rick. Like I said, Wildfire was Michael Murphy. But that's okay. You're still our friend. You're our friend. That's right. Anybody with those diaries that puts us down, that's our friend. And then when they start with those purple people meters, that's what that stands for, by the way, PPM, purple people meter.
I had no idea.
As opposed to the PPE, the purple people eater. Sheb Woolley, he's dead. All these famous musicians, all these people, they're all dead. Very sad. B.J. Thomas is still alive.
Yeah.
What's he doing these days?
I don't know.
B.J.?
Maybe.
Paul says, Every Time You Go Away by Paul Young, feh. You want to put that on there?
No.
Every Time You Go Away? I don't know.
No.
Here's one that says, Sweet Home Alabama. We've had that's on there, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
By Lynyrd Skynyrd?
Yes.
Pure, unadulterated redneck claptrap. Played across most of America for decades now, over and over again ad nauseum. I love that song. I don't care if it's redneck claptrap or not. I like it. Don't you like it? Sweet Home Alabama. Huh?
It's fine.
It's good. It's not fine. It's great.
It's fine.
Oh, and you can't play it. Damn it. I just want to hear the beginning of it. I love the way it starts. I love that guitar in the beginning. Real rednecky guitar. Hope Neil Young will remember Southern Man doesn't need him around anyhow. Watergate doesn't bother me. Does your conscience bother you? Where the skies are blue and the governor's true. Utterly awful, it says. Have a great day in the great white north, the fake Neil Armstrong. Sweet Home Alabama. I like it a lot. I sure wish you could play it.
Me too.
Now, while we're sitting here, it's the real thing. Da, 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 da. See, I'm getting confused between I'd like to teach the world to sing and the campaign on the fortunes, You've Got Your Troubles and I've Got Mine. That was also a Coke campaign. I got it here somewhere. You believe me?
Yeah.
But I got such a mess. Oh, I've got just zillions of these discs all over. I got piles, man. Piles. How about over here, maybe? Oh. It's the real thing, da, 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 in the back of your mind. Here's an old Birdine's, must be Chicken X stuck this in here. Look at that. I never even saw this before. I just found it. It's a Birdine's credit card.
Wow.
Holy moly, rat man.
Put it in a little frame.
Oh, I can't get it out. And the credit card either, because it's a small. Oh, it's cut up. Oh, it's cut up.
Ah.
And the name on the back is just scribbled on there. I don't know what the name is. Just a scribbling. Birdine's. You want me to give you the number?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to go buy something with it.
Let's put it out on the air. Well, it's cut up, so obviously the account is finito. And, of course, if it's Chicken X, then we know the account is finito because he couldn't even afford to drive to Birdine's, much less to buy anything there. I don't see it. This is a shame if I can't find it. I'm going to be so depressed. Aren't you? Aren't you going to be like all...
No.
Yeah, you will. Come on, pretend just for me.
No.
No?
No.
Told you he's a hard ass. Spit on the pump. Take a good dump and spit on the pump. I like that one. Just fine. All these HAZCOM, all this stuff should be in the DCS, but it's not. Oh, what's the date on these? 10/30/07. Wow. Here's Disney CEO calls Mickey caveman. You want to hear that? I sure don't. I don't want to hear any more of those Mickey things for a while. Oh, and here's one that's wrapped up in, what is this? Oh, it's a KJ one. It's wrapped in like a napkin. He said ho, he said ho, he said ho. What is that?
I don't know.
Do you want to know what that is? We're getting way behind on the break. But that's all right. Exactly. We got nothing but time to kill here. Lots and lots of it. Oh, no. He said ho, he said ho, he said ho.
Well, Don Imus was quite delightful, but some folks thought his jokes were spiteful. He got kicked off the radio. Oh! He said ho, he said ho, he said ho.
That's worth playing, the whole thing, don't you think?
Sure, why not? Whatever.
Haven't played in a dog's age.
Oh, Neil! You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Oh! Well, Don Imus was quite delightful, but some folks thought his jokes were spiteful.
He got kicked off the radio. He said ho, he said ho, he said ho. And it seems his career was wrecked now. That's politically incorrect now. And management said he had to go. He said ho, he said ho, he said ho. Maybe what he did wasn't right, and it started a media storm. Even if you're old, cranky, and white, sometimes you've gotta conform. Well, Don's back on the air now, but does anybody really care now?
No.
The moral of the story you know. Don't say ho, don't say ho, don't say ho. Oh, no.
Okay, at 12:33, and I can't find it. But I did find some other interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I played the Crying Shames one. I found it.
Good.
I found the Jackie Wilson one. I found the Al Hibbler one. And I found that.
Tired of slipping and a sliding with a long tall salad. Peeking and a hiding, ducking back in the alley. Don't wanna rip it up, don't wanna dance with Annie. I got a brand new lover, name is Short Fat Fanny. One day while I was visiting at Heartbreak Hotel.
So let me ask you, what's going to happen to all the sports nerds when we go all oldies?
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's the rumor. Jolly Joe. Wouldn't put anything past him. If it makes no sense.
That would get a higher rating than the current format.
Than the sports crap?
Yeah.
I can't find that. It's the real thing. I can't find it.
By the way.
Damn it. What?
Since you cut me off with that Obama nonsense that we couldn't see. You want to know the meaning of that line?
There's going to be that much.
What line?
And Blinded by the Light.
Oh, yeah.
Revved up like a deuce, as in a deuce coupe.
Oh. How sad.
Well, there you are.
How very sad. Larry Williams, I got Lottie Miss Claudia and Boney Maroney, and I also got, if this thing will queue up, which it doesn't look like it wants to do, TOC error, table contents error. Oh, no. Don't you hate when that happens?
All the time.
Well, let me shove it back in there again and see if it wants to do something. I might have to put it in the other machine, man. Well, I'm never going to get all these emails on. TOC error. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. Now, what's this? Oh, this is the KJ bit I just played. Well, we won't be playing that again anytime soon. Am I right about that? You bet.
Not until Christmas.
I got some old QM jingles for the oldies format.
As soon as you leave, on the phone, hello, is Susie there? She's not. How about her sister? Oh, yeah? Well, let me talk to her mother. Bobby there, another one of the big sounds of 63, number 44 for the entire year. A good one. It's called, of course, You're the Reason I'm Living. 24 to go before 10 o'clock. WQAM Radio, the Ricky Ticky Show on a Saturday night.
What do you think when you've had a good 560 WQAM.
It's a tiger.
What a feeling, refreshing new feeling. Yeah, see, what a feeling with a Coke.
Wow.
14 minutes after 12 o'clock, WQ time here. The Bobby Green scene. Which is
all
on
pukers,
Thursday.
man.
That's very exciting. That's hard to do.
This is wonderful.
Ricky Ticky was really puking up a storm.
Today on Monday, right?
When you're hearing
Very confusing.
when you're hearing things.
You can smoke, you can eat. I'll get rid of you.
Let's go with the swinging tigers on wonderful WQAM.
Tiger Radio. Days of the Depression, everything was not for very long. 24 minutes away from 8 o'clock, current temperature 71 and going down. 58-degree low in Miami tonight.
WQAM, fortune phone. Calling for 610, Stu. Who knows what's going to happen?
I do.
Hello?
I guess you know who this is. This is Dan Chandler from WQAM Radio.
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Here we go. You are listening to me right now.
Sure am. You announced $610, right?
Of course that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's fantastic. Not really. It's Sir John Henry and the Soul Riders. Sir John Henry and the Unbelievable Soul Riders, an 8-piece band busted out with soul. A group...
Wonderful WQAM.
Flashback action. Romance on a Friday night called Baby It's You, number 10 song. Hey, would you believe this? In the second period is Hialeah 20, Coral Gables nothing. Attention every team from Homestead to Key West.
Wow, this is some pretty good crap. Huh? It's a good thing I crawled around on the floor and I went through all those discs.
Hey, that's its own reward.
Whoa. And now we're getting 80 million emails all of a sudden. Now that I need a little bit of a break. Wow. They're rabid today, including Henry Finkelstein. It says, I didn't know Humper called Clarence after Kenny Mauldin got fired. No one cares about you, Humper. Not even Clarence. Hope to hear you soon on the new 940. I don't think so. I was thinking about that the other day. I mean, it's strictly a cheap channel cost-cutting measure. Do you think they're going to hire, like, local talent?
No.
Like Eddie Kane and Humper? I doubt it.
No.
Syndicated, open up a pot and put a bunch of crap on here. That's their specialty du jour every day. I was out for an hour. Don't know if you talked about this, is my friend Ken. You're the best and George isn't far behind. Michael Phelps gets 8 kids at party arrested. Oh, no. They thought it was so cool to hang out and take bong hits with Olympic champ Michael Phelps until the freaking sheriff started arresting everybody for it. Thanks a lot, Phelps, it says. Where is this? Does it say where it is? Huh? South Carolina. The South Carolina house party was last November. The photo of Phelps went public last week. This freaked out the local South Carolina sheriff who launched an investigation, that stupid hick. Now kids are going to jail, probably while exclaiming, for what, dude? Also, we've learned that the department's located and confiscated that bong. The owner of the bong was trying to sell it on eBay for as much as $100,000. Well, there you go. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Lawrence says, I never emailed twice in one day and don't plan to do so ever again. Yes, you have. However, for the poll again, I just heard something needs to be on there. The only song, apparently, that John Lennon ever sang, Imagine. I used to like the song, but after 100 times a week, week after week, month after month, year after year, even Yoko yaks when she hears it. Okay, Lawrence. And don't tell me you never emailed more than once. Fake Paris Hilton, I'm just getting rid of this crap. Very, very weak. Here's one from Ricardo. Jose is 62 or 3, has diabetes, still blind, and still a great acoustic guitar player, Jose Feliciano. He hasn't had a hit record in at least 5 years in Espanol, but he's working on a new record. He hit it big with Senor Bolero a few years ago. My wife is a big fan of Feliciano. Still great listening to you and George after all these years, although I must say that you drive me crazy talking about the thing about President Bush every day. What? Oh, you drove me crazy. I had to switch stations for a few minutes. Later, man. Good luck in the casinos. Oh, yeah, President Bush. How could we knock him? Paranoid by Black Sabbath and Ozzy. The real Rocky says, I don't think so. Do you think so?
No.
No way. Not even close. Not even close. Oh, now, let's see. Geldy says, I'm not fake. It's the first, I told you. I can't... What? I'll do what I can when it comes to Luke No Promises, though. And yes, as the Leaf fans that show up for the game... What? Oh, it's the Leaf fans who show up for the game. It's going to be a heck of a player, Luke, yes. Give him a year or two. I'd like to give him about half an hour. And no, I don't hate you, Uncle Neil. I don't mind at all, says Geldy. I think it's the real Geldy Geldstein. Wouldn't that be quite a feather in our cap?
No.
You're so... I don't know about you, man.
Accurate?
No, you're not accurate. You're just...
accurate?
Hard to light a fire under your ass.
Right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Right about what?
About the fake emailers?
When did you start being right?
Howard David's a bitch.
All right. Okay, 12:48. Let's get out the old jingles, man. Maybe Blind Michael call in if you start taking calls.
Man.
Look out now. Yeah, let's play a whole bunch of jingles. What do you say?
Go ahead.
Beat you to it.
Beat you.
Bastard.
Beat you to it. Obama's still talking up a storm in Fort Myers.
The whole opportunity around clean energy. I mean, this package proposes to double.
Speaking of Luke Shannon, how's that package,
Double
Luke?
our use of alternative
That's
fuel.
Geldy's assignment, is to kidnap Luke Shannon and bring him up here. And I'd lock the door from the inside. I would make one of them doggy doors underneath my door, and people could soak the food under there. Yeah. Open up the sliding glass doors for some fresh air once in a while,
Uh-huh.
What?
Nothing. I had a good line for the doggy door thing, but
what?
I'm going to let it go.
Why?
'Cause.
Chicken.
Wonderful WQAM.
In Miami, Florida, this is WQAM. Music Now.
Oh, yeah. Uptight, man. That's good. The old rascals. Anyway, here's Lanny says, I still have my Richards credit card from the South Florida area. Lanny from Palo Alto, California. What he's trying to say is...
I have no life.
He's hanging on to his Richards credit card. Remember Richards?
Yep.
Do you?
Yep.
Thought maybe that was before your time.
Well, guess what?
That was back in the day when I was collecting credit cards, inspired by that guest on WKAT. I told you about that guy. He was a credit card collector. He had 8 zillion credit cards. You know how you have, like stamps, stamp collectors have albums with stamps in them? And some people that collect baseball cards, they have albums with baseball cards in them. He had an album with credit cards. Big fat guy.
All right.
And I don't remember what had gotten me started collecting credit cards. You fill out the application. I mean, back in those days, I was making $225 a week.
Woo!
How much credit could I get? But evidently, a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Richards was one of the credit cards that this guy didn't have. I mean, he had credit cards for mortgages, for, anything. He did not have a Richards credit card.
Wow.
And I think also one other one I had. And he went ballistic. Where can I get an application? I got to get that. But, went nuts. Had a whole pile, I did, of credit cards. Richards and Burdines and Jeffersons and Monkey Wards and on and on. And places that what was that one place? Began with a B. Department store, real chintzy crap.
Burdines?
No, not Burdines. Chintzy stuff. It'll come to me. At any rate, I had them all. I had Jordan Marsh, of course.
Good.
I love Jordan Marsh. And then they went out of business. Could you add Escape, the Pina Colada song, to your poll? They play that song so much to this day, I want to shoot my radio every time I hear it. I put that in the same category, the Pina Colada song with Don't Worry, Be Happy. Same kind of cockamoon. Same kind of cockerai. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Crap. Ross DePaul says, Never My Love by the Association, Mon. Most songs can be overplayed, but are still quality, you dig? Never My Love is annoying and way overplayed. Great show, says Ross DePaul. Yeah, Mon. It's a good machine, Mon. It's a good machine. Never My Love? I don't know. Good song.
Just for fun.
You putting it on there just for fun?
Yeah, why not?
George is going to put it on there just for fun. WFUN.
In Miami, Florida, this is
Oh, I played that one already. Scott McKenzie.
Scott McKenzie. 10:07 WQAM.
You knew he was going to say that.
Dan Chatler on a Super Saturday
Dan
morning.
Chatler.
Al Slager.
All the pukers all the time, man.
10:17, part 1 of WQAM Super Saturday Morning 2020 Twin Spinners. We salute Al Slager, WQAM's secret word.
How'd you like the reverb on it?
Show, proudly presenting Pet Park. It's a sign of the time.
Rickshaw on Wonderful WQAM.
Oh, All right. I wonder what he's doing these days now that he's retired.
I don't. Oh, bless you.
Yeah. Well, it's not bad enough that I'm slobbering eating on the air, but now I'm sneezing on the air.
Yeah, boy. Pretty soon you're going to be belching.
Oh, not me. Or farting. Timmy, what?
Huh?
What was that sound?
I'm sorry, was the mic on?
Timmy Williams says, this is Timmy Williams at a safe number 3, which you still don't get it.
Okay.
You argued with me last time I read that.
Whatever you say.
Timmy Williams was the son of the owner of WINZ.
Yeah.
Guy Gannett.
Yeah.
And they stuck him in to be the general mangler of Zeta and INZ.
Right.
And that's when they started getting all panicky about my show.
Right.
Oh, Neil, I'd rather be in the safe number 3 than number 1, you know.
I thought you meant, I thought you said safe number 2.
Well, what difference does it make?
Because that's when you told the story 100 times before. That's what you said.
So the fact that whoever this fake Timmy Williams is got the number wrong, that takes the credibility away from it?
Sure.
You are such a cynic and a skeptic, man.
Yeah.
It says, Don't Stop Believing has been overplayed so much I can no longer bring myself to listen to any Journey song, much less that one. Unbelievable. Commercial radio's arrogance and laziness has basically succeeded in making me physically allergic to the band's entire output due to their erotic obsession with one single solitary thong. Here's a poll loosely related to today's poll, also inspired by your playing I'd Love to Change the World yesterday. Which artist do you wish would receive more or any commercial radio airplay? 10 years after, ELO, Joy Division, The Smiths, Morrissey, The Cure, Violent Femmes, The Band, Mother's Invention, and Chicago before Terry Kath blew his brains out. Yeah, that sucks, but then so have a lot of other suggestions so far this year. On behalf of most of the audience, I apologize for letting you down. Timmy Williams. P.S. Who's worse, me or Jolly Joe? Now that's a tough choice to have to... Let me think about it during the break.
Yep. Oh, boy. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
And another thing, you would listen to me, would have been a big star by now. With that little thick, squeak voice, how do you expect to get anywhere, you little puny puke? We say puke?
I think it's...
I don't even know anymore.
What's that? The 3,500 wives that I have.
Are you right?
The more I hear you.
Yeah, what about it?
The more I hate you.
What do I care?
And when I hear you, I wanna die. Your pecorino, toenail cheese aroma puts me in a coma and points my eye.
Why, you, I ought to smack you. I know my smell attracts you, but unlike Zach, you still got a job. I feel just like that you are my kid brother, and one yiddy to another. That's why you're still not fired.
Senate passed the $838 billion stimulus bill. Stimulate this.
That?
Yeah, this.
Go ahead. A morning show can put you in a coma. Can't wait till it's over. All right, that's enough.
Wow, what a battle. Stairway to Heaven 52. You light up my life 50. Another shot at love. It's another shot at love. If that isn't the worst show in the history of mankind. And then they've also got on MTV Dating.
Yeah, there are worse shows.
Where they eliminate this one. And they all the people on there are gross. I mean, just ugly as butt ugly. God. At any rate, let's get back to the 8,000. Oh, and guess what I found looking through my pile? I did not find It's the Real Thing, but I did find...
Esa negrita que va caminando.
All right.
Esa negrita tiene su tumbao. Y cuando la gente la va mirando, ella baila de lado, también apretado, apretado, apretado. La negra tiene tumbao. Azúcar, azúcar. Y no camina de lado. Si quieres llegar derecho, mejor camina de frente.
She was like Carmen Miranda without the bananas.
Well, how do you know?
I don't know. Maybe she did have bananas.
Right.
I don't know. Hearing her drives me bananas.
Just because she didn't have them on her head.
Doi, 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 doi.
Doi, 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 doi.
Or could she bell out about 1/100th of an ounce of sound or what? That Celia Cruz, huh? God, could she do it?
No.
Oh, God. 102 at 560 WQAM. Oh, here's the long Henry Finkelstein email. It better be good because it goes on and on. It's unbelievable, Neil, but the week has passed. I'm still on my 12 to 16-month vacation. I've been smoking a lot of pot. It seems to take my mind away from all the dumb idiots who surround me. Just finished watching President Obama. I don't know what you thought, Neil, but I thought he was clear when it comes to the bill. And I leave... What? Oh, I love when he said nobody's above the law when it comes to prosecuting some of the Bush administration officials. I'm thinking Don Rumsfeld first. I don't know if the stimulus package is going to stimulate my situation or not. I will tell you this. I believe this president. I feel he's telling me the truth and not what I want to hear. Am I a naive Jew, or do you guys feel the same way? I feel the same way, but you're still a naive Jew.
Wow.
Damn, Neil, I just realized the football season was over. Now I have nothing to do between hours of 2 to 4. Is there any freaking way we can get George on that slot? At least he'd have a decent lead-in. Damn, it's hard to accept the fact you can't listen to your favorite radio show for 6 hours instead of 4. Oh, how about 100 hours, okay? Henry? Sure. Hank? Paul and Old Rod did not use the Go Ahead Chris Matthews sound. I listen to them every day. I can tell you they did not use it.
Go ahead.
I even listened to their archives from Thursday and Friday. Again, did not hear it. So that bitch was trying to stir it up and got it wrong. Please block that idiot from emailing the show. It wasn't an email. It was a fax. We sure don't need false information on this show. That's for damn sure. The last thing we need is the fake this and the fake that. Too much fakery and shakery going on in this world as it is. Also wanted to tell you about the boar's head pastrami. I had some on Saturday. Must say, Swiss cheese, deli mustard, kosher dill pickle between 2 slices of some good bread. I don't know what kind. Oh, my God. What kind of a Jew are you, Henry? Neil, I felt so Jewish when I ate that sandwich, but it was so good. I hope I influence you in eating a nice boarhead's pastrami sandwich for lunch today. No, you will not. I think that Henry Finkelstein is Brandon. Just the way he said, just the way he words some of these like that. Eating a nice boar's head pastrami sandwich for lunch. That sounds like Brandon to me.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Why not?
Because Brandon sends real emails. Why would he send a fake one?
Well, for something to do, you know.
I don't believe it.
Man, Neil, I must admit I really miss Mo. Not his show, but him being at the station and bringing his Cemetery Village attitude to QAM. Please either bring Mo back or let George take over the 2 to 4 hour. Wake up, Jolly Joe, and put George on. He's been in this town for a long time. He has an audience. It's not an Uncle Lionel audience, but at least he has one, I guarantee it. It might sound like I'm kissing George's ass, but I'm not. I don't know the man. Just know that the show is interesting, and he won't talk about Shamori Harris's running 4.2 40-meter dash at the Combine when he was 12 years old. Who the hell cares? Put someone entertaining on, Jolly Joe. How dumb do you have to be? GD, man. You got rid of the humper, dumb decision. Geldy's not on enough. Geldy's not on enough. Curtis is pretty good. Big O is on 7 days a week, though. And you got freaking D freaking A on every single day. Don't get me even started on the beast. Don't get me started on the electric bill. That little tub of crap has no talent. I wish Mo got rid of him when he wanted to. Beast, you are the most hated Jew at QAM. Love you, Neil, and love you, little George. Professor Dr. Henry K. Finkelstein.
Thanks, Professor.
The fake professor, of course.
Right, of course.
Am I going to get to all these emails this hour? We only got 54 minutes. And Obama's still talking.
Look, this is America. We always had the best infrastructure. We were always willing to invest in the future. You know, Governor Chris mentioned Abraham Lincoln. He, in the middle of the Civil War.
I love when Obama looked Charlie in the eye and said,
"You fairy."
That was my favorite part of the whole day. Ciro says, oh, Anthony. I don't understand the emails and the names. I get confused. And I already got this a long time ago. Monday, February 9th, 10:58 p.m. Could you please play the good ship Amistad, Anthony and Tamarack? When I got this like a week or two ago, I played it that very damn day. I I listened to the show yesterday. I wanted to let you know that Jeff Lynne was the mastermind behind a brilliant band called ELO. One of your emailers said that he was also in the Blues Brothers band and the SNL band, live band also. He was not.
I know.
I think the emailer is confusing him with G.E. Smith. It's chopped off.
Okay.
The guitarist who was the SNL live band leader in the 90s. G.E. Smith was also in Hall & Oates, but not the Blues Brothers band. I have two possible polls here that you and George might find interesting. The first is, as bad as the economy is, how has it affected your job? Not much. It's day to day. We've taken a hard hit. I've been let go. And the second, what's the best scene in a movie? The best scene in a movie?
Wow. You know how they're going to answer that, right? Name every scene from every movie ever made.
Right. When Lassie takes a dump on Timmy's shoes. One of my favorites is the lard-ass scene from the movie Stand By Me. I didn't know lard-ass was in that movie. I'm sure a couple of Godfather scenes would make the list. And last, could you please play the good ship Amistad? Oh. Anthony, we're doing so good till you got to the poll stuff. And the last, I'll play it. What do you think?
All right. Do it.
No, but the question is, there you go. I was just, you beat me that time. I was just searching for it. Maybe I was searching for Luke Shen. 370 votes on the poll. Now, wait a minute. What's going on there?
Now it better be a good one. Go ahead.
Oh, it's such a blessing to see you, Mr. President. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Oh, gracious God, thank you so much.
All right, what's the question?
All right, Mr. President.
All right.
My name is Julio Acegueda. I'm currently a student at Edison State College in my second semester.
Oh.
And,
Julio.
okay, I've been at the same job, which is McDonald's, for 4.5 years.
Crank.
Because of the fact that I can't find another job. Now, with the fact that I've been there for as long as I've been there,
hang up on this
do you
guy.
have any plan or any idea of making one that has been there for a long time receive any better benefits than what they've already received?
Well, I tell you what. First of all, a couple things I'd like to say.
You're
Number
crazy.
one,
Yeah.
the fact that you
I gotta
are
see
working,
this guy. You watching this guy?
as hard as you're working at a job
Turn it
that I
on.
know doesn't always pay as
You'll
well
laugh.
as
You'll chuckle.
some other jobs, I think that's a source of pride for you.
Oh, my God.
That shows that you're doing the right thing.
Look at his shirt.
Yeah.
Now, the second thing is that you will actually benefit from the tax breaks that we're talking about, so you'll be able to keep a little bit extra money because we're going to offset your payroll tax. That's going to help. Oh, I assume that you're not getting health care through your job, and so one of the things that we want to do is reform the healthcare system so that you will have access to healthcare in your job.
Leave it to them in Fort Myers to pick a nut job like him to bring forward to ask a question. And wait until they start serving that black anus burger with bacon and cheddar, man. Then you'll be A-OK.
You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Well, here we go again.
Here's a 560 hit, ready to knock it.
Her name was Leia. She was a princess with the Danish on each ear and Darth Vader drawing near. So R2-D2 found Ben Kenobi.
Obi-Wan.
He'd have to put the Death Star plans into the rebellion's hands. So Luke and Obi-Wan had to get to Alderaan. So they stopped into Mos Eisley to have a drink with Han at the Star Wars Cantina. The weirdest creatures you've ever seen here at the Star Wars Cantina. Music and blasters and old Jedi masters at the Star Wars. His name was Solo.
Han Solo.
He was a pilot with a blaster at his side and a smile 12 parsecs wide there with Chewbacca. He was a Wookiee. They met with Luke and Obi-Wan about the Millennium Falcon docking Bay 94. Stormtroopers at the door with the flash of Ben's lightsaber. Commands and arms on the floor at the Star Wars Cantina. The weirdest creatures you've ever seen at the Star Wars
face it, folks. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. You must be cautious.
His name was Yoda. He was a Muppet. Darth Vader was so bad. And by the way, he's Luke's dad. Luke kissed his sister. His hand got cut off. In that galaxy far, far away, Lucas had a lousy day. Boba Fett was so mean. Jabba had bad hygiene. Why didn't they all just relax back on Tatooine at the Star Wars Cantina? The weirdest creatures you've ever seen at the Star Wars Cantina. Music and blasters and old Jedi masters at the Star Wars.
The Force will be with you.
And what were we just talking about Mark Hamill yesterday?
Yes.
Well, there you go. So who do you like better, Mark Hamill or Celia Cruz?
Mark Hamill.
That's a good poll question. What?
Mark Hamill.
You don't like Celia Cruz?
I don't.
My God, they're gonna railroad your ass right out of town.
Whatever, too late.
They're gonna put you on a rubber raft back to Montana.
Sorry.
The most overplayed song on the radio is or was. We have 381 vote. Stairway to Heaven 56. You Light Up My Life 52. Annoying song. I mean, really, and especially the way she sang it in that monotone. You know, Debbie Boone.
Debbie Boob.
Debbie Boob. I forget what she looked like. Was she...
She had some boobs.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, and guess who was on Biography last night, speaking of boobs? Jane Mansfield.
Yeah, boobs.
And they showed a picture of her visiting the Queen in England. And it was amazing because the Queen is a little on the short side, you know. And Jane Mansfield was big and buxom, as they say. And the Queen's eyes were just fixed right on those boobies, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Queen wanted the booby prize. If anybody I know deserves it, it's the old Queen. Got a good battle going on here. Stairway to Heaven 56. You Light Up My Life 52. Tie a yellow ribbon around Tony Orlando 40. Tie it around his neck and pull it real tight. Macarena 31. Piano Man 29. I'd like to teach the world to sing 20. Sweet Home Alabama 18. I Got You Babe 17. My Heart Will Go On 16. Don't Worry, Be Happy has got 13. I'll tell you one that's not on here that really should be. Yeah. More Than a Feeling 8.
Only overplayed by you.
Right. Oh, can't play it enough, let me tell you right now. It's numero uno with a bullet.
Esa negrita que va caminando, esa negrita tiene su tumbao, y cuando la gente la va mirando, ella baila de lado, bien apretado.
Oh, she sounds like she's in bad pain, let me tell you. Well, she isn't feeling no pain anymore. Oh, you can't say that about our beloved Celia. Yeah, screw her. Don't Worry, Be Happy 13, American Pie 8, More Than a Feeling 8, Margaritaville 7, Muskrat Love 7, Free Bird 6, Achy Breaky Heart 6, Do You Feel Like I Do 6, Blinded by the Blight and Rolled Up in a Douche 5, The Rose 5, You Don't Bring Me Flowers 5. What's the Bette Midler one that gets played like just...
The Rose?
No, not The Rose.
Wind Beneath My Wings?
Wind Beneath My Wings. Oh, my God.
I don't know if she sang that, but I knew that's what you were talking about.
She didn't sing it?
I don't know. She might have.
The hell she didn't. I'll bet you $1 zillion right now.
Martin and Kenny Rogers.
I'll bet you a bailout. I'll bet you Alex Rodriguez's Pink Lipstick.
A lot of people sang that song, and she might have been one of them.
She had the big, fat, boobied hit.
Okay. Well, she does have big, fat boobies.
Bette Midler?
Yeah.
You wouldn't touch her with my hands.
No, I would not.
And I wouldn't touch her with your hands. I Will Always Love You 4, Go Your Own Way 4, Ramblin' Man 4, Proud Mary 3, Feelings 3, Light My Fire 3, Billy Don't Be a Hero 2, Money 2, House of the Rising Sun 1, and None for Another Brick in the Wall, Never My Love, the Pina Colada. Look at the way you wrote on there. He didn't write Pina Colada, he wrote something similar. Pervert. Smoke on the Water, Cocaine, Seasons in the Sun, None. How can Seasons in the Sun have no votes?
Out of sight, out of mind.
No, that was a bad... Oh, and by the way, Brandon says, just like Paco, I'm too busy to be sending in fake emails. He's busy.
Right.
Well, glad to know that you're... what?
Why would he?
He wouldn't. It just sounded a little like him, though. You know, sometimes you can tell by the wording of these.
Right.
The way certain people write and speak and like that, you know. Like this.
Esa negrita que va caminando.
Like that.
Esa negrita tiene su tumbao.
Bow. Oh, she just... Seriously, if anybody really thinks that she was a singer, they need some very serious assistance. She couldn't sing a rat of a paper tuba. And, in connection with that, Heath writes, finally, Cuban music under your broadcast and on it. Good point, Heath. That's cute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's play, stereo.
Esa negrita que va caminando. Esa negrita tiene su tumbao.
Now, let me ask you, what is the music that the Fidel plays underneath our signal? Does anybody know what it is?
Me?
Well, I'm just asking out loud. Maybe somebody will tell us.
Someone who listens to this radio station would have to answer you.
No, and you don't listen to this radio station?
Why would I?
I don't either. I don't listen to any radio station. I listen to 680 News. That's a really, really good station. Oh, and Rick Uppel, the very funny track announcer at Fraser Downs, got canned because of the economy. You know, he got cut. Everybody's getting cut. Except George. George didn't get cut. He got snipped, but he didn't get cut. Isn't that bad news?
None of the above.
Rick Uppel. He's was very entertaining, very funny, very amusing.
Weaver Buscemi, Ron Burke trains.
Unlike the obnoxious, egotistical Roger Houston.
Number
pompous
7 is
ass.
Goat Coat George T.M. Robert Bernard West Alexander.
Eric Ledford.
Sharon Donato trains. Eric Ledford.
Canadian boy Eric Ledford by way of Michigan.
T.M. Number 8.
He needs a good BM is what he needs.
Mark Jakubic, Dale Wareham, Andy Rickert trains. Tony Hall, the 8. Alaquippa.
Oh, God, he gives me spilkies, Roger Houston. Let's do a whole show about race callers, okay?
Okay, go for it.
In fact, it won't be that far off that Dave Johnson will be calling for the Kentucky Derby. I feel a whole lot of pressure, man, for that. And you know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do? Next
week when I'm on vacation, I'm still going to make my picks, so that make sure that Flea and Steve Sloan know that.
Good.
So they can send me the racing form information, and I can pick some outstanding horse.
Good.
That won't be puking in the stretch.
Good.
Well, we want to, make sure we keep some consistency going with this stuff. And Flea has been right on top of it with that promotion for the Pick the Pony contest. Don't get me wrong, I like Flea a lot, but the Dow's down 346 points. Now that the stimulus package passed the Senate, the $838 billion, how much are we getting out of that? And just to prove that we're not greedy, we'll just take the spillage, just the extra $8 billion. Right? We'll leave the 830 for everybody else. Right. And we'll just take the $8 billion. I'll take 7.5, like Rick Riley would do, and give you 50 cents. Boy, that man treated Suds so bad.
Yep.
Next time you have Suds on the show, like maybe next week, when I'm on vacation.
Right.
You ought to rip Rick Riley an ass.
He won't.
Why not?
That's not his style.
Well, it's your style.
Yeah.
You do it for him.
Okay.
Take 99%. He would negotiate the deal, Rick.
Right.
And then he would take all the money and give Suds like, a box of candy.
Mm-hmm.
A box of Fruit Loops.
Right.
And now Rick Riley's in California doing what? What is he doing out there?
My wiener doesn't whistle.
Maybe he's on the beach.
I don't know.
Maybe he's out panhandling. Hey, spare some change, mister? And then he would drop one of those in there, Not that I dislike Rick or wish him any ill. It's just that I think he treated Suds poorly.
I agree.
For all of Johnny Dorks ripping me about the bird. The bird, I got $50,000 a year to sit there and eat and cackle, for crying out loud. Who wouldn't have taken that sweet job?
Sweet.
All he had to do was just be a little bit more agreeable and a little bit human, but he couldn't do it. He was a professional pouter at IOD. Zeta, he was fine. He was in a good mood. But at IOD, he was always pissed off. Bah. Bah. In fact, maybe that's him from the other side going, bah.
That could be.
Instead of the cackle, he came up with something new. Bah.
It's number 1. The sound of Miami. Wonderful. WQAM.
So who'd you vote for?
Well, I was on the other guy's ballot.
What other guy?
The Republican guy.
Oh, no, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Ted. I didn't want to break that.
Which one did you vote for,
I'm not going to get into it, Ted. You'll freak out on me, okay?
No way.
Yeah.
That hooded freak?
Which one? Be specific.
What's his name, man?
I'm not going to argue politics.
The guy from CNN?
Ted Turner, yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You voted for Buchanan?
I voted for Ted Turner.
Dude, why don't you just send the police right into my pad?
I knew.
Why don't you just give them my phone number and address?
Ted.
And let them come over and kill me. Man, you're going to elect the thought police.
Ted, this wasn't a presidential election. This is a primary, okay? I didn't have a chance to vote for the other side. Give me the chance to vote for the other side.
Rick?
What?
My pal, Rick, voted for a Nazi?
I knew this would be... I didn't vote for a Nazi!
Yes.
You failed.
If God had a bomb and took a hit, then would he act like Cheech and Chong and get the munchies and make brownies filled with hash? And would he share it with Jesus and the saints, those pious potheads? And yeah, pot is great. And yeah, pot is good. And yeah. What if God smokes cannabis, smoking pot like one of us, getting high on the back of the bus, just him and Moses getting stoned on a Greyhound bus to Rome to get some Vatican homegrown, a couple dimebacks to take home.
All right.
Smoke a big Bob Marley on his throne. No fun in heaven unless you're stoned.
Absolutely.
133. You aren't going up there, Mo. Don't worry about that. You're not going to heaven. If there is a hell, believe you me, you're going to be burning that a long time. Here's one that says, now that you guys got rid of Chris, is there any chance you can put Boca Brian on the show? No. This can be done from his home very cheaply and easy nowadays over any standard internet connection. Not that he would have to be constantly talking, but at least he should have a mic to be able to chime in when he's sitting at home listening anyway. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. But they said cheaply.
Yeah.
Not
if it costs a nickel, it ain't cheap enough, right. Okay? There's a better chance that we're going to put Celia Cruz on here than put Chicken Neck on.
Or anyone else.
Or anybody else who would cost more than a dime. Larry says, I know it's useless info for you, but G.E. Smith was the band leader for SNL after Paul Schaefer left to play for Letterman. Smith was also Bob Dylan's lead guitar for years. Useless info, that's right, Larry. Thank you so much. Was it helpful to you?
No.
Useless to me. Greg Budell, who just has no life whatsoever,
I have no
obsessed with this show, and I'm beginning to believe it's the real one. He forwards to me a message from Tom Jicka, and in response to his question, Greg, there are a zillion rumors like WINZ going all sports, the fifth station in the market. WQAM would have to eat a lot of contracts, mainly Neil's new 5-year deal, which just started last month. I think a lot of these rumors are started by the competition, writes Tom. Tom doesn't write to me, though, anymore. The real little Tommy Jicka, he doesn't write to me. No. Because I know if it was him, because we've got our code, we've got a code word that he... But since he was on the other day and allegedly ripping me an ass on Sid's show, it's a New York thing, man. New York. New Yorkers just stick together. Just like when Tommy used to be on with Sandy Payton, that lovely lady. Oh, Greg Budell's back again, and he sends me a picture of Steve Stansel looking very, very ugly. He says, I'm beside myself that you and George don't remember Steve Stansel.
Who said we
didn't? 97 GTR and Zeta.
Who said we didn't?
A great voice, and I made some comment, you may have been out that day, that I just barely remember him. A great voice and probably the best rock and roll DJ in Miami radio history. Oh, my God. Would you believe that?
No.
A great guy on top of that, although he looks a little like Joe Zagacki, Greg. He don't look at all like Joe Zagacki. He ain't got no, penis face. Like Joe Z. And let me remind you of one thing, Greg.
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
Amen. Greg Budell. I'm beginning to believe it's the real one. He's a nut job.
Yeah.
Like that, he is.
Nevertheless.
By the way, everybody hates you, Greg, still. More than ever. Nevertheless what?
I don't believe it is.
You don't believe anybody is for real?
Correct.
What about Rich Pachter?
Who would pretend to be him?
Oh, excellent point. Scott in Pinellas Park, who's beyond chronic, says, to me the best thing he's ever done, Mark Hamill, is the voice of the Joker in the Batman animated series. He is perfect in that role. I tuned in late, so I don't know if you mentioned this, but when I hear Don't Worry, Be Happy, it reminded me of those insipid WTVJ spots before they're switched to NBC in late 88. Yeah, we did mention that and talked about it at length. Don't worry, be happy. Yeah, it sucked. Just like Tony Cigaretto sucked, too. But now he's retired. Bye, Tony. You're a silly guy. It's not personal. It's just business. You're silly. Fake emailer writes, Jolly Joe Bell saved my marriage. Neil, recently I've been having marriage problems. The wife has been unhappy with my performance because when it comes to the bedroom, I'm quick draw McGraw. Anyway, why am I telling you this? Because while looking through your website, I found a picture of you and that dingbat Joe Bell. His vile physique, his yellow teeth from drinking too much coffee, that pale skin were engraved into my brain. What has been seen can't be unseen. Anyway, now whenever I'm with the wife, I picture Jolly Joe in my head and I calm down, if you know what I mean. So please, if you see Jolly Joe, thank him for me. He may have just saved my marriage. Thanks a lot, Jolly Joe.
You fairy.
Oh, John James, whose main thing is a George complaint. Every time he emails, it's about you.
Great.
John James.
Whatever.
What if he's kin to Jesse? George was complaining last week about his new salary. Boo-hoo. Stop crying,
No, I
George.
wasn't.
You're lucky Jolly Joe took pity upon you and didn't fire you. And you were complaining about not getting a free car? No, George, no.
It's not a free car.
Got to get my Diet 7-Up. Stop your whining. Do your job right, George. Then you can ask Joe Bell for more money in a car. I bet you still haven't gone to five guys like Neil asked. Neil should give you one more chance and then fire you. Neil, please get on top of George already. Oh, I'm sure not doing that. What a horrible thought that is. Get on top of George.
Rectum.
Very sad. Oh, God. Rich in Orlando says, when I was a teenager, I thought the worst job in the world had to be as a country music disc jockey. When I heard Waylon Jennings and his thumping bass play a brand of progressive country music I'd never heard before, I changed my mind. He didn't wear those rhinestone suits and didn't use a steel guitar to simulate a teardrop. The Texas sound had finally overwhelmed Nashville. It was a breath of fresh air. It'll never be your cup of tea, nor was it ever the liking of mainstream Nashville, but old Waylon started a genre of country music known as outlaw country, and with Willie Nelson and a few others, the sound still thrives today. Given the choice of Waylon or the Big Bopper, I'm glad things turned out the way it did. As Don Imus said, Waylon Jennings was truly the best country music singer ever. I agree. By the way, have you seen Imus on TV lately? He looks like Cousin It on a bad hair day. Says Rich in Orlando. Have you seen Imus on TV lately?
No.
And I
Or
could care less.
Oh, Neil. You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Well, here we go again.
Remember this golden gasser. Wonderful WQAM.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. My beliefs are what's required to avoid a lake of fire. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. While my religion advocates bigotry and racial hate, my religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. What we like about it best, I fondle boys and wear a dress. My religion's better than yours. My religion is better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. I speak of we have no respect for women. Drive a cab to make a living. My religion's better than yours. In my religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours.
Absolutely.
Chupacabra, spooky ghosts, we slaughter pigs and dogs and goats. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We wear beanies and pigtails and never ever pay retail. My religion's better than yours. Please. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We knock on doors to bother you like Fuller Brush to spew our views. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. Uh-huh.
We wear ties and ride our bikes and get to marry lots of wives. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We don't want to use our brains. We're mindless lemmings on parade. My religion's better than yours.
146, 14 till 2 at QAM. We got the big O coming up at 2. And then Mad Dog is at Shula's this afternoon. And then after that, well, Barbara, one of your many female listeners, writes, I've been thinking the same thing about A-Rod and the pink lipstick for years. Every time I see him on a Yankee broadcast, his lips are bright pink. I don't know if they're stained from too much bubble gum, but they sure are pink, says Barbara. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one who saw it. I've never seen any guy with pink lips. Have you?
No.
Maybe like an albino, you know.
Yeah, when it gets really cold outside, I'll get purple lips.
I think you live in a purple haze.
Oh, yeah.
I could be wrong, but
no,
that's
you're not.
what I think.
No, you're not wrong.
Purple haze. What was that expression we had? I wrote it down. Quiet despair.
Oh, yeah, living a life of quiet despair. That's us.
Woo!
I wrote it down, too.
Quiet despair.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly where I wrote it, too.
Not so quiet
right on my left cheek.
Rectum.
Yeah. Redlands Jim says, I'm far from a sports freak. I've caught some of D.A.'s show over the last few weeks. I think you're wrong about his abilities. He is a broadcaster, does a good show. Big Zero, however, is a drag. Have I ever said that D.A. does a bad show?
No.
The only time I've ever heard him in my life is when he's filling in for Little Dog in the morning. And I've never said he does a bad show. He's got a good voice. He's a broadcaster. He belongs on the air. But for whatever reason, his specialty is... he couldn't draw an audience. He couldn't attract a bunch of flies to a Schmidt pile. Why, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, the signal is horrendous, and he's following an hour of absolute dead air. But nevertheless, that's his specialty, as a matter of fact. He's the dead air follower. You know those bits, Mr. Dead Air Follower, Mr. Tuba Player? Yeah. Congratulations, Mr. Dead Air Follower, for that point from 9 to 10 p.m. Oh, here's the thing about Where's the List? Took almost all the way through the show. Seeing that again is because I put these things at the bottom because they come in early. This came in at 5:38 last night. Bob says, Where's the List came from when Joe Gersten got caught with a hooker and there was a list that couldn't be found. Right. Whatever happened to Joe Gersten? He just disappeared.
He went to
He
Australia.
was allegedly in Hawaii or something.
Australia.
Oh, he was in Australia. He was down under? Wouldn't
That's
be the
where
first time.
he lives, and he's very successful down there now.
Really?
Yes.
He's a successful shyster down there now, Joe Gersten?
Apparently.
Wow. Why the hell would a guy like him want to vamoose out of South Florida?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Scandal?
Oh, I'll find it.
Where's the list?
Yeah. Search and you'll find it. Well, here's a story from Clearwater. Tommy Rassier says he was about to use a toilet stall at Lowe's Home Improvement Center in Pinellas Park last August when something terrible happened. It was terrible. According to a lawsuit filed in Pinellas Circuit Court, Rassier was about to sit down when a person unknown to him pushed open the stall door, hitting Rassier in the head and neck with the door and pushing him back into the toilet. Are you envisioning this?
Okay.
He hit him in the head and neck with the door. Rassier thought the stall door was locked and faults Lowe's for failing to maintain the door locking mechanism. The suit says Lowe's was negligent in permitting a dangerous condition. Rassier alleges he suffered bodily injury, disfigurement, mental anguish, and other problems from the encounter. His wife, Deborah Sue LeMay Rassier, is also a plaintiff in the suit. a manager at Lowe's store at 7301 Park Boulevard in Clearwater, referred questions to Lowe's Public Relations Office in North Carolina. A spokesman there says the company doesn't comment on pending lawsuits. And Rassier's lawyer says he can't comment on the suit until he speaks with his client. That'll teach him a thing or two, eh?
Indeed.
That 10 years after was one of the... Now, this comes from a guy who's obviously very politically confused.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
The 10 years after was one of the first right-wing rock songs, especially the lyric, tax the rich, feed the poor, until there are no rich no more. That's right-wing?
I don't think that's what it says, first of all, and then no. The answer to the question is no.
He's got his wings confused, man.
Right.
Peter, you got your wings. It's left-wing, not right-wing. Tax the rich, feed the poor, until there are no rich no more.
No more, I think, is what it says. But we can check that. We can check that on the internet.
Until there are no what?
Poor. No more.
No mo. No mo. Ron says, what the hell is going on here? Oh, this is interesting. They took the PSAs off the internet and put on faggery and kneel spots. Who do you have?
No, they were right.
Do you have, what?
So there are no rich no more.
Who do you have to do to get at least this amount of support? Give them all the old stuff you can't play on your regular show. Maybe there is a God. Yes, Neil God. They took those PSAs off and they put some fag stuff on?
I don't know.
I don't either, but Ron, that's what Ron tells us. I mean, like we're supposed to know what the hell's going on here? Like somebody's going to tell us what the hell is going on? Nobody tells us nothing. Nope. And, of course, that's probably involved with your buddy Josh Cordes. Mr. I don't wanna. Whatever it is, I don't wanna. So very soon, March 1, isn't that when Tubby Chris takes over the web?
That's what I heard.
The stories?
That's the rumor.
That's the rumor. Well, is anybody going to give me like an official, or is it just...
Maybe anybody will.
Like a horse race that's never declared official.
Maybe one of those guys will.
One of what guys?
One of the two people involved.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you believe we caught up with just about all the emails?
Wow.
I can't believe it. I'm so damn proud of myself. And that was even with all that great question from that lunkhead in Fort Myers. Did you ever see the guy?
Yeah.
What a weirdo.
Yeah.
Welcome to Florida, Mr. President. Here's one of our resident Fort Myers lunkheads. I bet you he's part of the Beasley clan, if you ask me. So here's the official. How many votes we got? 431. Not too bad. The most overplayed song on the radio is or was Stairway to Heaven 59, You Light Up My Life 53. A battle, man. A battle royal.
Neil Rogers got.
I'm Chris Matthews, play hardball on MSNBC. I feel as giddy as a college schoolgirl who's wearing a skirt and those trampy thigh highs, and the wind just blew over my coochie. Even though the economy is dismal and our world seems to be crumbling, I feel exuberant and excited, like a 13-year-old girl going to see Twilight. Welcome to three CEOs of the automobile industry to hardball. Got Alan Mullally of Ford, Robert Nardelli of Chrysler, and Richard Wagner of GM. Welcome to the program, gentlemen. Let's start with you, Richard. Didn't know if you realize that you're actually named after a station wagon. That's last name's Wagner. Yeah, it's like a station wagon. That's funny. No, no. I think it's funny. Maybe you don't have a sense of humor. Anyway, let's go to you, Alan. Don't you think it's funny that Richard Wagner's last name is actually from a station wagon? I know comedy. Anyway, what do you do with an elephant with three balls? You walk him and pinch it a giraffe. Anyway.
We know South Florida sports.
That's why we are South Florida's sports leader. 560 WQAM.
It's Steve in Miami town at 560 WQAM.
Hailing Ford
from Alaska.
Hailing
Ford from Alaska. Ford
from Alaska, married to an Eskimo. From Alaska, a hockey mom bimbo. Sarah stumbled through some colleges after leaving Idaho. She met a guy named Todd, who's a drunken Eskimo. She modeled in her bathing suit in a local beauty show. Then she got a gig in the media, broadcasting for Sport Hole. You fairy! She ran to be the mayor in a town of 52. then became the governor of a state where the girls are few. She kept the money for the earmarks that she got approved. And Sarah named her children Trick and Track and Diggity Doo. Where the bathtubs are filling up with crank in Wasilla. Oh, from Alaska, married to an Eskimo. Oh, from Alaska, a hockey mom bimbo.
Let's abuse some more prisoners. Make them scream nice and loud. Get me some wires and a battery pack. I don't care if they ain't from Iraq. Should be used to the torture. 'Cause we're just playing their game. In the past, it had to be worse with Saddam Hussein.